Is it crazy to say that WE has a shot of winning this series? No, it is not. I'll turn the camera on briefly, folks. I'm still going to grab my coffee, sort a couple things out in the background. Hopefully, we'll have Vestian joining us today, which should be very, very exciting. We've also managed to grab ourselves a sponsor in Opera GX for the month, so we'll talk about that a little later. Mods, if possible, I think we need to have a chat command added. Hello, hello, hello. In fact, let me just go make sure if I can grab that. So I don't know whether Alex has managed to get that one to you. But if not, then I'll need to copy that over to you. And we'll get things rolling there. I can add a command. Brilliant. Do you have the link, or do you need me to grant you it? I think you probably need me to give it to you, don't you? 1 second. Properties. We'll do it this way. Hang on. We'll figure it out here. It says it's a different link to the old one is the thing. So it will need to be updated because the old link is not the same. Ready for glorious WE ascension to LPL title? Absolutely. Cassiopeia, Varus, Jarvan, Ori, and Karma leading the way. Cassiopeia right now feels busted. There we go. Mods, there's the link. If that could be added to the Opera GX command, that'd be super appreciated. Guys, I'm going to get myself a coffee. And I will get... No, that's the same link. No, it's not. Because it's Nymaera 3 now, not Nymaera 2. The last one was Nymaera 2. It's very similar, but I'm fairly certain it's directly different. The one in the command is 3. Oh, in that case, someone's already done it. Okay. Oh, it is indeed. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. That's updated in that case. All is right with the world. Alex clearly did it at some point yesterday. That's fine. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Vestian, Nelson, yeah. Nelson, massive, yeah. Hopefully we'll have Vestian joining us shortly. I'm going to get myself that coffee. I'm going to drop Vestian a line, and we'll figure things out from there. Ads are running. Thank you all for being in here. And we'll get into what should be a very interesting series, make no mistake about it. I'm going to go quiet while I go get that coffee and get myself ready to go. Okay, coffee acquired. Give me 2 seconds, folks. While I... Oh, we got someone sign up for Opera GX already. That's remarkable. We got one happy PC. Hooray! Thank you, guys. I'll make sure to get that across to the other stuff side as well. I need to... do this. I need to sign out here. And then in on here. Where is my QR codey thing? There it is. Signing into Discord so I can get Vestian on. Beautiful, that'll do. Alright, folks, tell me where the volumes are at.
Hello.
There we go. How's Vestian sounding, folks?
Yeah,
Command it. Thank you very much, Fed Trinity. Can everyone hear Vestian? We all good?
I hope so.
There we go.
Dude, I'm excited.
Yeah, we can hear him fantastic. As long as the brilliant. There we go. Everyone can hear you. I'm excited too. This should be a fun one. I don't know whether you caught the WE series.
I did.
It was something, wasn't it? It was something.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's why I'm excited. You know, now that is the team I'm backing. There's no way not to. So
that might be the mistake, but we'll find out. Let me get you in the title as well. There you go. Done.
It's kind of less to me about them actually winning and more like just imagine it. You know, from was it 1-13 to like where they are now, or just even taking a series off BLG is just an incredible come up. Oh, especially in the way in which they did.
I mean, they managed to drag BLG into the mess, and I think they were just much better at dropping off Vision and causing some absolute strife as a result. Do you need the feed, by the way?
I could use the feed. Otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, let me get that over to you. We will share. Here is what we'll do. I can't promise the feed will be perfect here. Let me see what the... Can I see what the settings are on this one? Stream quality. Yeah, we'll do this at 30 and 720 just to make sure everything's going okay, because I've like got multiple video feeds everywhere right now. But that should then be fine. Of course. Alrighty then, folks. Let's turn this audio off and listen in to people coming on in. Should be a great old time. There we go. Ooh, a bit loud. Come on, there we go. That's more like it. Mouse being a bit jittery.
I mean, ultimately, the clear favourites, you'd have to imagine, coming in. But I guess like how much of it was a fluke, the last series? Probably a fairly large amount of it.
Mm-hmm.
You seeing what Nymaera is saying?
Yes, I have. I'm just doing that right now. Cool, it wasn't on here. The thing is, I went to go replace the old one. It wasn't on here, so I don't know whether we didn't have it on here before or whatever. It's on the other setting. It's on the other... I do need this to work. There we go.
I mean, what a crazy timeline we're in, where one of BLG or JDG just can't make it. Of course, you know, you can imagine who I'm going for between the two.
Exactly. Alex is already on streamer mode as far as I can tell. I don't know why it made noises.
This Nymaera guy's talking to himself again.
It is on. There we go. That ought to do it.
How cool is this?
It is cool, isn't it? It is cool, isn't it? WE being here alone is kind of just awesome.
Oh, isn't it?
Like, how on earth did they get here?
I don't know, but like, I mean, there's a clear showing in that series that like mechanically they're absolutely there, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
well, that's just
man,
it.
Monkey and About were just nuts.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think that the one that really, I mean, obviously Monkey had a phenomenal series. Player of the series by far. But I think the person who stepped most for me was Cube. Because the amount of times he managed to drop off vision and lane gank or come from an angle that BLG weren't expecting was ridiculous. Because they basically never got a clean cross map the entire series. Because Cube would just go, cool, right, I'm bot lane now. And when people go, well, what? And they get themselves, and they cause BLG some absolute harm from it.
Yeah, sort of on that point as well.
They're down in Nirvana. They failed to make it to playoffs, I'm afraid.
So one thing that was really impressive, because like I play tanks predominantly in solo queue, and watching Cube's team fighting, especially on the Ornn, like I get Ornn's like not the hardest champ in the world to have good team fighting on, but like some of the team fighting he was doing on that Ornn was really, really impressive to me. Just like the limits that he was like finding on that champ was so, I mean, it just created so much room for the carries. So, yeah, no, that was really, really impressive by him. I do agree with you.
And obviously, like, Monkey as well, obviously, comes back in having been away from the team, took some time off because he wasn't feeling it, was really worried about his level of play, comes back in, is playing that kind of stuff. It's really, really huge. Obviously, on the other side, it is anyone's legend. If there was a jungler that could look Monkey straight in the eye and say, you just haven't got it compared to me, mate, it's Tarzan, right? And I think AL, for my money, have looked the most consistent in playoffs of our playoffs team. Now, I said the same thing last split when they absolutely demolished their first set of best of fives and then crashed out of playoffs. So it can all be, it can all go wrong there yet. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, like, ultimately, you look at this team, and there should be not really any doubts as to who should come out of this, right? Like, I mean, I talked on the team fighting out of Cube in the last series, but like he's going up against Flandre, who is arguably the best team fighter, team fighting top, you know, in the world. Like his laning often leaves a lot to be desired, but his team fighting is nuts.
Yeah, I agree. It's the reason why Flandre is still a top lane, why he often hits the all-pro list, despite the fact his laning is a little bit dubious. Though I will say, with the recent set of picks he's picked up, like the TF is back, the Rek'Sai is back, a few other picks are back, he does feel like he's got a few champions that can actually do the team fighting thing, which is quite exciting. I think we might be heading into draft now. Excellent news. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Awesome. Right, so AL blue side, WE red. That doesn't necessarily mean that much because it looks like WE still have first pick. The Cassiopeia has been crazy high prior, by the way, folks. Wonder whether that gets banned here. They had a little update on the... Can you lower Vestian slightly and up my own volume? Yeah, I can probably do a little bit of that. Let me see what we can do. Mike's maxed on there. Can't up the volume there. Super easy. Probably means I then have to drop Vestian just a touch.
Easy. Yeah. Orianna left open in his first pick. I think that's not very surprising. It's a champ that does well into Cassiopeia. It team fights really well. Its laning's really strong, and it can skirmish, which is pretty rare to be able to tick all three boxes as a control mage. Like, quite often you get two of the three. It's very safe as well, even though it's slightly less safe without the phase rush that it could take in the past. Still very, very safe. Ashe Seraphine's actually dropped off quite a lot in Prio internationally.
Yeah, it has.
We're on 1610, I presume, so we're not... Yes. Yeah, so no Enchanter nerfs yet. But even so, I mean, every region, I believe, is still playing 1610 for playoffs, and it, like, has dropped off a lot in priority. I think, in large, just the Ashe got hit with a nerf, and I think that was enough for people to say, okay, it's not quite at the very top anymore.
Yeah.
But Lucian Melio, I mean, this is a pretty stock standard draft so far, which... in my opinion, works for AL more than WE.
I also think Hope and Kyle are better at Ashe Seraphine than most. Of course, About and Era were one of the big users of the Lucian Milio. I think it helped get them some of their early wins when they were really struggling after that. But, you know, after they were kind of fighting past that 0 and 16 threshold, Vi's really good with Seraphine and Ashe because obviously great Encore extender and obviously follows up on Ashe Arrow / Ashe Arrow can follow up on it very, very well. So we see what the CC chain is there, and you can't cleanse Vi ult.
Yep. Very true. It is a little annoying though. Milio does have a reasonable amount of counterplay. Like, of course, the Vi ult is going to hit you, but there's the immediate Q after, the burst of health, the shielding as well. It is like all things to consider. I think mostly it stops Lucian from feeling so safe at these mid lane trades, where he can't really afford to just be Eing forward, looking for a quick trade and backing off, because if Vi's anywhere nearby, if you use E aggressively, you will just probably fall.
Yeah, I agree, and that's one of those ones where like we've seen a little bit of Xayah into the Lucian Milio recently, because the Xayah can sometimes threaten the Lucian when he tries to dash into range, which can get a bit annoying for him.
The Akali nerf, that makes sense with the Orianna. It also pairs well when skirmishing with the Vi. Olaf ban. I mean, it is taking away things that can make it volatile. I like the Neferi ban though. Neferi Orianna, of course, similar to the Nocturne Orianna, but it is a little bit more telegraphed, and it is actually easier to cancel. I think, like, with the Neferi going forward into an Ashe, you are just guaranteed to get hit by an Enchanted Crystal Arrow, which, you know, then you can't really use your, what is it? Disengage? What is the W called? I forget the name of it.
Which one, sorry? I was just saying on volume.
Neferi.
Nah, I've managed to adjust the volume out of it now, but for whatever reason, it wasn't. So for whatever reason, I couldn't get to your volume unless the stream I was sending you was full screened. I couldn't get the volume slider. It was really weird. I don't know what was going on. I was like, why can I not get to your volume slider? But yes, Call of the Pack is the Neferi W. Rise Vi, I mean, at this point, the C, like, you can only cleanse so much CC. You got, it's BLG losing versus WE. BLG lost to WE already. It's happened. Let me make sure I've actually done the title correctly, because that would be always slightly awkward if I've not done that. Did I get the title right? Correct. I did. Good. That's few.
Jace.
Good.
Interesting. Jace is a 4P. I kind of think Jace, like, part of why he's so strong, like, in fairness, he is just strong, but like the fact that you can three-way flex him is pretty nice. Like, mid lane is a little bit fake, but it is still doable. So I think that's where he gets a lot of his power from. Though, of course, picking him in last rotation means there is no flex. It is just going to go top.
I mean,
I do like the... Okay. Yeah, okay. I like the Wukong. You need something that can snap engage with the Orianna.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that will be what we need to keep our eye on, won't it? Because, again, they've managed to get through to the fact they got Orianna at all. Sorry, I was getting some audio stuff on the side.
That's all good.
Yeah, and I've dropped Vestian by about 20%, guys. So, like, I don't want to drop him too much more. I'm not going to be able to hear him. How's that sounding now? I've upped the mic volume a little bit. I can probably up it a little bit more.
Otherwise, I can... Oh, wait.
No, you stay fine. That's... I can't go too much higher here is the thing. Probably push that there a little bit. That'll help a bit, but I can't go too much. WE is setting on the first map.
Not too bad.
I mean, WE have managed to get Orianna through draft, which has just never happened. So the fact they've given Orianna up is kind of wild to me.
Yeah, I think it's a... Honestly, both drafts are perfectly fine. A lot of it, I think, like, I think Jace is actually pretty decent into Vayne, so it's an interesting Vayne pick, I find. Like, sure, the lane phase is perfectly okay for the Vayne, but it's more like out of lane. It's pretty hard to find that access, and you do have an enabler in that Seraphine, but it's kind of hard, I think, for the Vayne to play this this game. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with this Vayne pick.
We'll see. Because I think it's one of those ones which I think Flandre has been pulling out more and more regularly. I'm going to turn the camera off here as we head towards the Rift. We'll listen to the Gyos shortly. And keep an eye on that Vayne pick, because I agree it could be quite an interesting one to try to move this little block around as well when we get there.
Yeah. Ward's coming out. I mean, just defensive wards through the river. There's not likely to be all that much early aggression as it pertains to the junglers, both heading to the bot side where it is the double range matchup. It does make a lot of sense. Pretty typical. Early lane, Lucian Milio, actually one of the few duos that can match the power of the Ashe Seraphine, and in fact generally is a winning matchup for the early stages of the lane, at least the first recall.
You reckon? I mean, I can sort of see it, right? You just got the early shove, right? Because you just your damage is just higher, right? Especially for things like the cleanse and the full ability to get through to, like, I need a little bit more ability haste on Lucian to get my second E off, and it's not quite there. We're chatting with Pillow in chat the other day about that one. Nice exhaust there from Flandre. Cube doing a decent trade, and this will be an interesting one to track, because again, earlier on in the split, when WE was still struggling, Cube was hard forcing the Jace. It was getting banned away from him. It was like the one part of the map which was looking okay. The problem was Cube on carry looking okay is not necessarily what WE are wanting out of this player, especially as the rest of the map was collapsing around them. We'll see whether it looks a bit better here in the game one. I mean, if you look at WE's draft and take the nameplates off, they've got a killer draft. Wukong with the Orianna behind. Flandre about to get ganked at the level 2 here because the Wukong got behind him. This needs to be a very good condemn. He flashes forwards, so we'll still have the Nimbus Strike, and I think Flandre is going to at least be forced to burn something here. Nimbus Strike first blood. Monkey gets out. That was very cleanly done. Might drop a camp or two here, but hey, it's Vi. Her ability to invade is a little bit minimal. You might drop a blue buff here, but you can see Ura's going to go over and put a ward down and try and zone off this Vi.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder if it was an active decision to sort of allow the shove to come towards the Lucian Melio, because you can certainly force yourselves to get that shove, but maybe realizing that Monkey's looking for something aggressive after that exhaust was used in the top side by Flandre. It means they are just going to pull back so they can defend the rest of their camps. Blue buff was taken by Tarzan, so it is at least something claimed in response. He's going to look towards the Gromp as well, but it's a smite versus no smite. Should be fine for Monkey to pick up if he needs to, and he is going to drop it.
Yeah, won't manage to make that one happen. We'll get the top of the bot side Scuttle Crab though, and this makes things a bit interesting because I think the Wukong's going to need to do Wolves and then get top side Scuttle because he really doesn't want to drop 2 camps here or things get a lot trickier. That was 0% win rate for the record for WE across every one of their champions on screen, by the by. We got a little distracted, of course, by the fact that Cube and Monkey found a really nice little play onto Flandre. Of course, everyone blew their summoners up there, so worth keeping our eyes on that. The Vayne, without summoners, pretty vulnerable, but then again, it is a Jace on the other side. You get the wrong condemn. Things can still go a little awry. Obviously, I was a little bit distracted doing some tech stuff, so I've not had the most opportunity to actually chat with you about where you're thinking these comps are. I'm looking at AL, I'm seeing, okay, we can play towards the Vayne and the top side with the Vi and the Rise if we want to. You've got double global with the Ashe ult, Rise ult, all that kind of stuff. And obviously, if you want to play the 4/5v5, you've also got, like, Vi's, Rise, Ashe, Seraphine. Feels like a pretty good team comp in terms of team fighting. But then I look at the other side and I'm seeing pretty good poke from the Jason the Lucian. I'm seeing Ori Wukong. Like, that's not exactly a weak set of champions to be playing in a 5v5 either.
Yeah, absolutely. I think ultimately both team comps are perfectly acceptable, but I do favor WE's slightly. I think playing around the mid lane waves with the Lucian Melio is a lot easier. It also scales better, which is not often something you say about the Lucian, but because Melio is there, it is a very good scaling pick in that sense. There's also not really anyone that can tank a culling. So when you get to those sort of dances that you get around the river just naturally, any good culling can truly just turn a fight. And I think now, especially after seeing the context of the game, finding out that Cube's ahead, it really does just put WE in such a commanding position at such an early stage. And Flandre's going to take some more pressure here and might actually just have to concede more minions. And in a volatile matchup, this is a disaster for Flandre.
Oh my days. Got hit by the shot blast. The Scorch nearly took him out. He's on 11 HP. Oh my days. Flandre is locked in the Vayne and is now going to be half the CS of this Jace.
It's just a very volatile Vayne matchup that you've made even more volatile while realizing your jungler's pathing bot. Right? Like, you know the other jungler's path is on the top side starting. You don't know if he's going to come to your lane, so you can't really afford to make it volatile. And because he's done it, he's really paying the price. And I think WE have done a great job of recognizing the misstep and just continuing to punish that pain point.
Yeah, I agree. I think it looks pretty damn excellent. Indeed. Vi gonna charge up her Q. Yeah, it should be alright.
Without the level 6, it isn't the greatest threat in the world, and ultimately you can just kick a soccer ball in his face to stop that Q if you need to.
Indeed. That'll be the one. Again, you just kick a big fireball at someone, which is a very normal thing to do in a normal state of affairs. You know, like, and so you know what I think of when I see someone charging at me very angrily with a giant power fist? Kick a fireball at them, you know?
Yep. Oh, it's the greatest counter in the game, potentially.
It's actually
crazy.
Strong.
The amount of
very good.
It's this Milio's Q is such a great disengage tool. Obviously, if you miss it, you're very, very vulnerable. But to things that have a long-range engage, it's one of the best disengages in the game outside of maybe Janna. So
Yeah. I mean, ARAM
it is a
enjoys
good
out
pick
there
here.
as well. It's 120% AP scaling. So if you want to build
Yeah.
AP Milio and ARAM, I'm telling you now, that kick will hurt.
Level 6 should come through now for Tarzan as he finishes up the dragon. Also, importantly, it is the first dragon of the game. So
Yep.
very, very early on as well. Means there is threat of an early Dragon Soul win condition. But I think ultimately conceding that to pick up camps is perfectly fine for Monkey here because they do have control for the early stages of this game. Tarzan's going to look for more down here, but quickly realize there's nothing on offer.
Yeah, the Rise is also roaming, so it would have been tricky, I think, in general. So that would have been, I think, a step far. They got between the turrets here. This gets a bit interesting. So I think About's going to get himself shielded and try and dash towards these minions, which they do successfully.
Yeah, well played. Not the
Vayne's...
easiest situation to navigate, but...
Yeah, just keep an eye on that top side, because again, Vayne just had her summoners up and Monkey was around, but I think Tarzan back. I'll leave that one alone. That'll be the way that one kind of levels out. And I suppose this one, while we got a bit of a quiet downtime, you were saying you reckon the Milio outscales the Seraphine, but I would have thought that Seraphine in a 5v5 with just her like AoE shielding, Echoes of Helia, potentially a Diadem of Songs, you know, the usual shielding, healing, enchanter items. Surely the AoE shielding and healing outscales the Milio would have been my initial thought process. As actually, wait, a bit of a bot lane play. We don't actually have time to natter about that, about trading with the barrier and the culling. And Kyle looks for the Goncore, won't land it as a good dash away. Now Ura is in danger, remember, doesn't have the flash, still doesn't have the heal, and that means Hope and Kyle get the 2v2 kill. And now look who else is here.
Yeah.
Shanks with the Ghost with the Realm Warp. Doesn't even need to use that R button, I apologize. I assumed he took that opportunity, but no, just ran on over and gets the other bot lane. AL get 2.
Yeah, a bit of a disaster down there. I think ultimately when your support is only the level 4 versus level 6, you can't afford to be trading that aggressively, but they're trying to find something back. Tarzan, he's locked up by that Cyclone. Blue buff taken away, the flash is there.
Can look for a bit more. The Nimbus strike in, gets the crushing blow, and that evens things up. Stuck around there, think you get the blue buff, but Monkey with the invis, with the shockwave on top of him, punishes well.
Yeah, so I mean, interesting. I think early game kills going over to the Wukong is actually really, really impactful because this Wukong champ isn't going to die that easily to what we see from the AL comp for the near future, right? And it is also, especially when you have these Void Guards coming up, going to be very important. Tarzan loses ult as well, but the lane swap does come through, so trying to put the stronger bot lane up in this top side to guarantee those grubs might be able to, I guess, force the issue that they will get them. But it is going to come at the cost of that quest for the top lane, which means that XP is going to be a bit of a pain point for Flandre continuing forward.
Yeah, he's already down like 30-odd CS. In some ways, the damage there is done. Flandre's going to try and come up with a final out to get towards this turret. Eats a lot of damage, gets kicked into the wall. Does get the exhaust down, but About's going to buy it and time this one out. The Culling's a few seconds off back, by the way. Eyes on that. Flandre getting dive, flashes away. Had to burn the exhaust and the flash. Ura burns his flash again, but again, Flandre now, his ability to stick under this turret with Karis and the Wukong from Monkey roaming is going to be limited. He's losing another wave.
Another wave lost here, and probably some in the future because he lost both of his sums to try and get that wave. So this is a really, really rough position as Cube now going to be pressured. Shanks on the roam up. This should just be a dead Jace.
It is. He can go to the skies potentially. They're still waiting. Clears out the majority of the wave, but will likely die and does indeed fall. Flandre survives and has to lose the wave. Cube gets the wave but dies doing it. Ura was on the reset but wasn't there. Still 30 seconds away on the timing.
Yeah, Shank's doing a great job, ultimately, of controlling that mid-wave and finding his roam timers. Only losing 2 plates as well means they haven't even really paid a cost for it whatsoever.
No.
To now find Hope and Kale in such a great position.
Is this different than the Anivia stream? It's the original stream, by the way. Jit, the Anivia is a restream. It's one that's endorsed by us, so it's certainly something we're happy to do. We're live on Anivia's channel, but that you're on the sort of the OG channel right now is where you're at in the YouTube. Also the Twitch, which is the OG, if that makes some sense. There you go. Well, I've seen a
Also,
few chats in here as well, chatting about like, oh no, Cubes Chase, oh no, about her on the Lucian Millia. To be fair, guys, I think this is not the same team playing these champions as it was, say, right at the beginning of the split, where they went 0-16. So, you know, I understand there is some nerfs, and WE may still lose this game, but, you know, bear in mind that perhaps a clean slate is earned at this point over the last couple of weeks of play.
Yeah, and I never touched on your question from before about the Millia versus Seraphine. And I think you are correct in a strict team fighting aspect. The Seraphine is going to be sort of outscaling the Millia, right? It just has more AoE abilities to impact the fight. But the thing that Millia is underrated for, I guess, and why he scales so well, and you see this sort of matching in sort of win rate per game time, is that it cannot be understated just how strong giving your AD carry extra damage from extra range is as the game progresses. That is the one thing that Millia does that no one else in the game does, and it is such a strong thing. Like, you already know, like, there's times where if you get caught by 2-3 auto attacks from AD carry, you're pretty much dead. Millia gives you access to being able to do that from a much safer distance.
Speaking of safe distance, AL Hope might be finding themselves at an unsafe distance. The flash is burned. They'll get the root, but I don't think it'll turn into anything more. All the while in the picture-in-picture, Karis got caught out by Shanks and Tarzan. Tarzan's been left low. I think the shockwave landed on him, and the fact that Tarzan is so low probably will cost them this dragon, actually. So kill for dragon probably becomes the weird trade here in the grand scheme of things. Yeah,
costed the cease and desist as well, so I think ultimately a decent trade. It's a trade that I wouldn't necessarily complain about. You do lose a wave in the mid lane as well, of course, but ultimately you get the bot lane flash, you get their ults, well, at least the Ashe ult, and also the Vi ult for a dragon and one death. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that if I'm WE ultimately.
Yeah, I think so too. And again, the fact that WE's early games have been much improved. Here's a look at this picture-in-picture. Karis on the roam, spots out Tarzan, and Shanks says, right, we're doing this. And they full send with the ults.
Yeah, wow. Honestly, maybe even having an avenue to clear the distance if he doesn't get CC'd by the dragon, which is
not bad play
kind of
considering
weird.
He put himself in a crappy position in the river, right? He's like, I've roamed. And Tarzan's gone, yeah, but you face-check me. How's that look working out for you?
Yeah, I'm surprised he was able to trade back so much, and I think honestly the concussive blows proccing Dragon was actually what costed him the guaranteed death there. Then probably dies anyway, but there is an avenue where he might be able to get to his Milio and live.
You know what? I'm going to call you out because it's denting blows on Vi, concussive blows on Braum, you know? Oh,
that's right. Yes, that's right. I knew it was one of the two. They have so many names like that. It's like strikes as well. There's a lot of random strikes in the game.
Yeah, without warning.
Yeah, true. True. That's an oceanic creator right there.
Oh, phenomenal. Also, the fact that they're actually a really sick dancer as well. So when they pull off the League dance moves videos, superb. What's not superb here is Shanks having to give the majority of the turret plates. I'm not sure who's got the grubs, but looking at the damage, probably is still going to be AL because I don't see any grubs spawning there, but might be a 2-for-1 split. I just didn't notice. Always a possibility. Got about 30 seconds until Herald, and I wonder whether we'll have a little contest around that. Flandre has managed to get to the Hex Plate, but is still down about 40 CS, and that is not a fantastic position to be in. Jace's already gotten to the Ghost Blade, is building towards the Muramana. We sometimes see a little bit of the Voltaic Cyclosaur, which is obviously very good on the Jace, but I think in this game where you're trying to outspace and outspeed quite a lot of people who want to either jump on you like the Vi or slow you down like the Ashe, the move speed is probably fairly valuable. You can see that as locked in with the Storm Raiders Surge as well. And hey, your 1v1 matchup will be the Vayne, who is absolutely looking to run at you.
Yeah, I think Voltaic, if you can play it, is just the better item, but I agree with you. I think the movement speed is too valuable this game. So, correct decision. Interesting to note as well that, I mean, objectives are somewhat in favor of AR, right? In terms of those neutrals, they're getting the Rift Shield now, already got the 3 grubs, which isn't as OP on this patch as it is live. But tower plates, as well as towers with that bot lane falling, is well and truly in favor of WE. And so that's a lot of gold that actually is in favor. You're seeing it there, almost 2k as that next plate will go down. And so a really good position as a culling.
Yeah, speaking of Lucian Milio holding mid lane waves and playing off them, you were saying you really like that combo. We have obviously seen a lot of that from LCP and LPL respectively, and now they're going to look to punish as Hope is trapped over the far side of the wall. They can't defend this turret. They can't walk past the Orianna ball particularly freely. Kyle's desperate to get a high note onto that wave. Can't, and WE pick up another turret quite convincingly. Will now look to punish the TP top side though. This could get spicy. Orianna TPs, but the Wukong's on the right.
Okay, he doesn't fall there. I was a little worried seeing the Vi in the area, but with the protection coming there from Monkey heading up in the northern direction, it's going to be fine to collect that wave. Finder's going to have to back off, and it is just continuing to mount that gold lead, and Cube has very quickly become the major threat on the Rift for both teams.
Yeah.
Also, important to note, a phenomenal Serpent's Fang buyer. Which, when you are against things like the Ashe Seraphine, is really, really important. You can somewhere incorporate it into your team comp. So I really do like this.
This is going to be 5 members top. They're trying to bait this in. Shanks is well known. They need to be so careful. Monkey jumps in. Where's the shockwave? Number 2 can pull them back. Shanks left low, but a flash for the encore and the shielding. 5 members here, and WE thinks they had the bait. It's well read by anyone's legend. Rest of WE now turn up, but they've lost 2 already. The shock blast hurts. Tarzan gets into the Herald. He might be looking for more here. This is the Battle Herald angle, but he decides instead to angle it into this turret. It goes quite deep to get over here though. Cube goes low but not down. The TP in. They blowed up Tarzan, and the re-engage with Shanks coming on in will make this pretty spicy. I apologize. It's Flondra about with the shielding, desperate to hold the line, cannot. And AL come away with, I believe, 4 over the course of the whole affair.
Yeah, they do manage to pick up a 3. I think Cube did manage to live at the very start, but it's still 3 for 2 and a tower. So it is a winning trade coming out of WE. Top lane did use their teleport as well, as Cube did come in. They just didn't realize the sheer massive numbers up here, and it is punished so well by AL. Realizing something's amiss, Shanks is able to just narrowly escape. Cube somehow living from this position, getting that Storm Raiders flashing off to his Milio. And they do get the tower, they get a second crash. Tarzan does pay for it, and he probably doesn't have to die here ultimately, but still a positive trade for them.
Back to life or around the dragon. Speaking of positivity, how about some positive bloodbaths? I'm always a fan of those. We're going to come over towards this river, and a fight over the vision commences.
Yeah, it is good for AL that they got set up in the river first, trying to push into the Jace, into the Milio with the shockwave.
That's pretty disgusting. Monkey's just full sending at the short-range flashless members. That poor Rise had no ability to step forward, and Shanks gets, well, shanked. Not to put too fine a point on it now. They can turn towards the dragon with the man advantage, and no real way for AL to contest any further.
What an insane game. And also, by the way, I think it has to be majoritively for the ult cooldown. We have an experimental hex plate on Wukong. Is this something the LPL does a lot? This is the first time in my life I've ever seen that.
Sorry, I blanked on that. I thought it was on the vein. No, that's not. But it is Monkey, who's always been one of our more creative players. Honestly, I don't hate it this game. You're into a lot of squishy members. Just saying, you know what? It's going to give me HP. It's going to give me... so I'm going to get some defensive stats anyway. I don't need a black cleaver. I just need to ult more often.
Yeah, you also get more... Oh, no.
That's fine. A few. I thought there was still hit there. I got paid hit by the observers.
Yeah. Oh. It's kind of cool. It also gives them more E cooldown, as well as something interesting to note, and we'll come around more.
Here comes the potential angle back. Karras gets the shield. Monkey's going to buy a lot of time. Gets the double warrior trickster. Shanks left a little low. Can't quite get the kill. The command attack.
Cyclone.
There's the Cyclone back up shortly. Monkey at least trades back. Over comes about. And the rest of WE and AL have overloaded. And unfortunately fried their own systems as they tried to send multiple members top. It goes wrong again. And WE... where's this team been? What has changed in their chemistry? Because from inert, they are looking volatile and dangerous.
Gonna start up on this Baron and Cyclone back up. I was excited to see if it came up in time to save the Orianna. Not quite. Tarzan is in the area though. A potential steal could come through. Hope without that Seraphine in the pocket is going to find this a lot harder.
Ooh, damage onto Hope is disgusting. They turn back onto Tarzan happily enough, and they back away. Flondra gets hit by the Super Mega Blaze Kick. Monkey goes back in with an Ember Strike and the Crushing Blow. Health bars low. Probably a little bit dicey to continue on with the Baron, but I think in many ways they get more gold, they get more summoners. Ashe without flash or barrier will have the flash in particular down for the dragon fight, which would be sole point for WE. And looking at this game, you give a Hexal to the Fed Jace. I mean, it's lights out.
I'm a little bit perplexed by this Vayne pick now, especially, I mean, it's already like a losing lane matchup in theory. You've misplayed, and now it's just completely useless. It's going to be so long until Flandre is actually able to do much. You see there, as soon as he's engaged on by anyone, he just spends the time ulting and trying to run away.
Yeah.
It's leaving so much to be desired, and a lot for Hope to try and do, which he can't do without Flash.
No, he can't. It's very different. Hope's actually in a pretty good spot. Got the early 2v2 kill, right? They've played this well. They've had a good showing so far. About, obviously, back in a decent position himself. He's got the Essence Reaver and the Infinity Edge. Will be very potent coming into this fight. But, you know, on that conversation of Flandre, he's played this into the Jace before, I believe, and done very well in that matchup. This has definitely been the absolute opposite of that, and I think, obviously, it's a very volatile matchup, and it's gone very wrong. The early gank from the Wukong, more than anything else, I think, really put the Vayne well out of reach of a normal laning phase, shall we say. But even so, this is poor even with that in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the problem when you go for these volatile matchups that are like, if you make one mistake, you kind of are just out of the game, is you just can't afford to make a mistake. Whereas on the Jace side of things, you make one mistake, okay, sure your lane gets a little bit harder, but you're still going to be Jace when it comes to these river fights. And so now we just have Cube walking around. He's only a K up now. It was 2K before, so with those 2 kills earlier picked up by Flandre, closed that a little bit. But you're seeing how difficult it is to walk anywhere that Cube is.
Yeah, and the problem is, like, who else got the kills? It's Monkey, who's 5-1, by the way. I said, look, Tarzan's going to be able to manage him, surely. Monkey has basically just taken down BLG in a 5-game Michael Bay cinema experience. He's now going up against arguably the greatest jungler of all time. Yes, there's people like Canyon in that conversation. I'm not going to deny it. Canyon probably takes it. But, you know, someone else who could very happily put a name in that hat and people go, you know what, fair, is Tarzan, who's been so good across so many teams and has been so damn consistently elite for that long. Going up against him and is now 30 CS up, 5-1, has outplayed and outthought Tarzan repeatedly in this game. We like the build, we like the play, and I think I like their odds in this game.
Yeah, going Death Dance as well next, by the looks of things. So just becomes all that much harder to deal with. Gives him a lot more sticking power as well. Doesn't really have all that much in regards to healing to sort of negate the burn effect outside of getting the kills, which, in fairness, has been happening. So should be getting those cleansers through. Also hasn't upgraded the boots yet.
Got the Death Dance in. The shock blasts have hit Kyle twice and dropped him to about half. In goes Monkey. Does take a lot of damage, but can still get the second cycle. Look at the cup. The culling on the other side. Kyle left low. Monkey goes in. Keeps trying to trade with Hope. Does fall. A little bit too deep, but now Flandre's left alone. Will surely go down. Into the backline we look. AL left for desperately low. They go into the skies. It's a 2 for 2 as it stands. Cube
No.
Back goes Ura. Looking for the blade. Keeps AL from resetting. Dash on forward. Flash with the relentless pursuit. Shanks has to get out. 4 members fall from AL. It's a little bit messy from WE as they put their bodies on the line, but they get what they came for.
What an insane passage of play. I just witnessed a flanking Milio to seal the deal on that play and secure a sole point for WE. This team is playing so unhinged, and it might be the most beautiful League of Legends I've ever watched. I mean, Monkey just sees and Monkey goes. Tarzan trying to turn it around, but that cleanse from Milio, giving him that uptime, able to get the kill. The culling just destroys Kale's health bar. Monkey not quite able to finish the kill, but does more than enough to ensure that WE are able to complete this play. Shanks, credit to him, able to find an immediate burst onto Cube, gets himself out, but here it is. On the flanking Milio.
Look, when people ask, what do you want him to do? He's on a Milio. This is what I want you to do if you're on the Milio. Come on, commit to the kick to the head. I mean, the fact that he gets the kick and then flashes away from Shanks' overload to stop all of that damage coming on forwards, because, you know, Shanks is still, despite the scoreline, I think also pretty potent here at this point on the rise. You are very much at risk of just getting combo down by the Rise. I think that Flash is probably very wise and gets away with it well. Hope, you know, still 2.5 items, all these kinds of things. I'm just looking at WE and I'm seeing 3-item Lucian, 3-item Wukong, 3-item Jace, who's now got the Voltaic Cycler Sword to follow everything else. I think a Serpent's Fang follows, and we start getting very, very nervous about the grand scheme of things. Karis has also gone for a very burst-heavy build on the Orianna. Look, 0, 3, and 8 ain't that exciting, but you get hit by a Shockwave with a Luden Shadow Flame, you will die here. There's no one else who's realistically going to be able to afford magic resist right now.
Yeah, it's a pretty bleak state of affairs, and I mean, all really, and whether or not they do this is yet to be seen, but all we need to really do is wait. Karis, unfortunately, I mean, no business being there with this whole team on the top side.
Yeah, but that will possibly cost them Baron. They send multiple members, but including the jungler. So that just gives the free license. I think this will just get burned down. There's no realistic way to come and contest this. In comes the Realm Warp. The Encore is good, but the Baron is secure. Now they get very happily. So the Breath of Life denies all of that CC chain that the Ashe and Seraphine are so known for.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's just a well-played passage. Realizing that there was an overcommitment to take down that Orianna in the bottom side, immediately pulling the trigger on the Baron. A lot of damage. I mean, that's all there really is in this game, is just damage. And so they are able to take it in time. They also get the teleport away from Flandre, and that's the quest teleport. So a 7-minute cooldown for Flandre, who wants to be in the side lanes as it is, but has to contest for this dragon. That is a really rough position to be as this Vayne.
I mean, as managed to actually somehow undo the 40 CS lead he was down, by the way, and it's actually managed to drop the gold lead to about 630. I think Cube is still in a very happy position, and basically the rest of the team has been able to pick up the farm that he's been dropping to join the team a little bit more regularly. I think Monkey's also got quite a lot of it. But hey, Flandre doing that, focusing so hard and catching back up, means he's not around really for these fights in the way I think they would like him to be. And now WE can continue to extend this gold lead, so point is very much theirs. They get these inner turrets, and WE will now look at this bot lane tier 2 with avarice in their eyes.
Yeah, slow pushing 2 lanes with the Baron makes it a lot more steady, I suppose. Less vulnerable members to be targeted by something like the Vi and the Realm Warp, so I think it makes a lot of sense in this game. Taking down one more plate remaining on that bot side tower. Already the mid lane up to that inhibitor tower at this point. Monkey continuing to play around this jungle, clear out that vision.
Yeah, about like
that one.
Chunk
of damage.
Yeah, it gets 2/3 of Hope's health bar. Now they can look at this tier 3, the inhibitor turret, very much about to fall. We'll get the replay as the arrow came on forwards, and Lucian just dashed away from it and took the punish opportunity. Inhibitor falls, Cube shoves up this bot lane wave so they can rotate over towards it. WE in the base looking to force an awkward flank angle.
Now, trying to pressure, there isn't really the threat of a dive, I don't feel. Just not quite tanky enough to actually threaten that properly. And so, just trying to get that minion wave in. There's no minion wave for now, just that one cannon which Shanks will clear away. Trying to walk up and meet before the tower as well.
Flandre's
be very careful though, WE.
Yeah, they're going to go in. Monkey gets jumped on, but Cyclone's well. The Breath of Life buys time, and Monkey just doesn't take any meaningful damage. The second Cyclone. Shanks goes in with the Realm Warp. There's an exhaust down, but Shanks again falls. It's a little deep. Flandre desperately needs to run away. The tumble does get good damage. They blow up Cube, who went looking for the play, and now the Seraphine shields begin to become a little bit more problematic. It's a 1-for-1 right now, and Karis goes golden. I'm not really sure why. Flashes away, dodges some of the damage, gets hit by the beetle, but about back in. Can't kill Tarzan. The arrow's back off cooldown. Monkey with the Nimbus strike gets the last crushing blow. Auto desperate to drive flash on it. The death starts healing. It's ridiculous. Deaths dance Wukong. They win the fight. They scrap. They bring him down into the mud and drown AL in it. A couple inches is all they needed, and they take the whole mile. WE win game 1 against anyone's legend. Their miracle run continues unabated.
Already taking down BLG and one step of the way now to taking 8 AL. WE might have the most meteoric rise to MSI out of any team if they can continue on this trajectory. What an insane game out of Monkey. Cube, I thought he sold. I thought he sold by just flashing all in the Vayne. But the turnaround from that Wukong, it really was the Death Dance difference. A lot of junglers go for the GA there. It's not the same combat power, and it really showed. Each cleanse of that heal coming through, the Conqueror, the Triumph, keeping him just topped up enough, and the flash with the Milio at the end there to secure the deal. WE lead the series 1-0.
They do, and rightly so. And rightly so. That was exceptional stuff from them. I think the early pressure top to take the Vayne out of the game. And then, you know what? Cube gets to leverage that well. I think the Jace worked out. But more importantly, Monkey with a very clear idea of how he wanted to build that Wukong and play around it. As many ults as possible. Stick in the fight for as long as possible. Death Dance build means you get in and you stay in. You are not allowed to just go in and just be an ult bot. You have to be so sticky. You can't afford to leave the fights, and it works out so well in that last play. The Death Dance difference. You know what, Monkey? I see it. I approve of it. It works out so well. And again, WE, this team that everyone had written off as Nirvana bait. They were descending at the end of the split. Nothing anyone was going to be able to do about it. Have now saved their lives in Ascent, have taken BLG down to the lower bracket, and are a game up against anyone's legend. Like, you cannot make this kind of storyline up. Ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, they're doing it against champs that are synonymous with the players on anyone's legend too. The Rise for Shanks. It's something that is well known. He's very, very good at. You've got the Vi for Tarzan. They don't really care what they're going up against. No. They're going to play their style of League of Legends, and they play it damn well.
I mean, like, the Vayne didn't work. It was a last pick Vayne. Flaundra's looked very good on it so far this split. WE obviously had the plan with the level 3 gank to really punish it, and did so very successfully. At which point the Vayne, I don't think we got to see the best of it from Flandre, but even then it's a matchup which I think is a risky one to take, and it did not work out. And that kind of was the start of WE's ability to find their points of power in the game. And even then, you know, like, it wasn't like AL didn't have their own opportunities. It just never managed to turn into a lead. WE's early game has been more than good enough across a couple weeks now.
Yeah, no, it was very well. I think ultimately as well, what happened in top lane in specific is as soon as that exhaust is used for a heavy level 1 trade, it really does just become, okay, we just go and gank this guy. And they played it very, very well. They force out the flash, both match immediately, take him out, and then it's not only that, it's then the going back to make sure you punish. Because a Vayne, well, any top laner without TP really, really struggles if it loses any of the minion waves, right? Or if it gets forced to recall. You don't even need to kill top laners if they don't have, or solo laners at that, if they don't have TP, because they are just going to go down a bunch of XP. It's a bunch of progress towards their quest if you get a plate as well. And so, unfortunately, it was really the beginning of the end for me at that point. And then, of course, I mean, there's a lot of League of Legends to go through to end up getting to the point where you do win, but they did capitalize on it. They're in the river. They're utilizing Jace poke. And I think that is a really, really important thing, because some teams will get into that position and not use the Jace poke, and then it's like, what was this all for?
And I think the other side of it, right, is you're right. The Jace poke's really good, but I don't think I've seen a team as willing to scrap from difficult positions. WE's ability, like that last stage there to go, yeah, but we still got a way to fight this out. We were like, I don't hear no bell as a team has been WE. And, you know, those losses seem to have just given them a kind of grit which very few teams have. We'll get the replays going on here, folks. And at this point, I probably ought to do that little shill thing. So, few things. Number one, some ads are about to get run. If you don't want to see the ads, subscribe. That's the way you avoid them. That's genuinely it. 2, you can help support us. We're trying to push for Partner Plus. We got very close last month. We'd like to get there this month. If you've been gifted a sub, consider actually properly resubscribing for a month, 2 months, just to help us get to that break point. It'll be a tenner, basically, for 2 months worth of entertainment and helping support myself and Alex do this for you all. And it helps us just get more money out of Twitch subs, which would be huge, huge, huge. It's 2 coffees, maybe 3 if you're finding some nice cheap espresso somewhere. Which really isn't that much in the grand scheme of things. And it would actually genuinely help change our lives for the better. So really do consider it if you're enjoying what you're hearing. Would mean a massive deal to us. You can also support us by the Ko-fi, which I will be linking in chat. But more importantly this month, as you can see on your screen, in fact, I'll turn the camera back on briefly, which I normally don't do in the highlights. But well, look, as you can see below me, there is a new little widget. That's for Opera GX, who are our sponsor again for this month. If you would like to support us, one of the ways you can do it is just by clicking on the link. Genuinely, it doesn't cost you any money. It'll cost you 2 minutes of your time. And bluntly, we're in the break. What are you doing? You're listening to me yap, which is very understandable. And Vestian, who will be yapping as well. But you could just click on that link. I'll be linking in all the chats. And it will, in fact, ensure that we get a little bit of money from them. We did really well the last time. And you don't actually have to pay to use this or anything. I will say, it's actually a very good browser. It's very efficient, does really cool stuff. If you want to use your Chromium-based stuff, but don't want to use Google Chrome, which is kind of getting a little bit dated and heavy and all those kind of things, Opera GX is just so much smoother, guys. Give it a look, give it a try, especially if you are someone who enjoys your gaming. It's a really good browser with a load of integrations for that, so please do consider giving it a look, because it's actually quite a cool product on top of everything else, and will cost you 10 seconds of your time, as I said. All right, spiel over, Festian, you may yap, and actually, thank you guys for the subs, Pintail, Zephy Styles, and the gift subs as well, guys. That's so kind. This is also why we do the shilling, because sometimes people actually listen to the call to action. Like, comment, subscribe, guys.
No, it's very well deserved. I mean, I'm like in disbelief at how persistent. I don't know if persistent's the word, but I guess consistent is actually a better word. You guys are at being able to do this, because some of the days are absolute slog. And day in, day out, you're both doing it, and it just, I don't know, it really, really does impress me. So, I mean, you got my hat is off for the fact you guys are able to do that. But one thing I wanted to bring up is, like, we've seen the Flash Soraka engage, right? The Flash that Busio did in the LEC. But now we've seen
Labrov,
the Milio Insec.
Yes.
So,
yes.
like, which one is more impressive? As it becomes the question.
I think, considering that the Milio was style points, the game was kind of won at that point. I think probably it's going to be the Labrov Flash Silence, because that actually won them a game from a position they should never have won. Like that legitimately was game-saving genius. The score, by the way, Gankers, is 1-0 to WE right now, which is a bit of a shock. But hey, maybe we need to stop doubting WE. Maybe we need to stop doubting WE.
It's hard to call a fluke. It's hard to be like, oh, it was a good day.
Another one.
You know,
look how many MVPs this man has now. Remember, they were 0 and 16.
Yeah, what an insane player. I mean, I love the cooking on the build too. Also, there was one thing I noticed in build that actually is a very big difference maker. Is one of the AD carries had Ninja Tabis, plated steel caps, and one of the AD carries had Berserker Greaves. Now, which one do you think had the correct boots, and which one do you think had the wrong boots?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't possibly tell you. Vestian.
I think, in my opinion, when you're against things like Wukong, Jace, Lucian, you probably want plated steel caps.
Possibly.
Because that's a lot of physical damage.
What's the Merc Treads really buying you CC from? You
Sorry.
know,
No, I see Berserker Greaves.
Oh, Berserker Greaves, yeah. Sorry. Yes.
But I don't think the attack speed means more than taking less damage in a game like this, especially walking into Jace poke. Like, sure, the argument, I guess, is the empowered Seraphine W could heal it up a little bit, but, man, I mean, anytime he was on a mid-wave, he was suffering. Hope was. So, I don't know. I think AD carries underutilize plated steel caps. I do think there's times where it does make your champion feel a lot smoother to have Berserker Greaves, but I don't think Ashe is necessarily one of those champs.
I mean, it does feel good in the sense that you get more Rangers focus offs, and that always feels nice. You know, your autos with your passive, etc., etc., etc. But bluntly, there's no one who's able to tank the culling. You've got so much damage towards you. I agree. I think Steel Cats would have been fine. You would have been okay with Rangers focus. Hex Optics is giving you attack speed. You're going Hex Optics Phantom Dancer. You'll have attack speed. It won't be perfect. It'll be a little annoying early, but it will keep you alive, which, in fairness, I think Hope was probably the least of the issues they had. That said, I'm going to run very quickly to go get myself a coffee. Also, guys, if you don't hit the follow button on Twitch, we are like 35 followers away from 11,000. So if you've not hit the follow yet, please do. Also, YouTubers, Twitch viewers, YouTubers, Anivia viewers, if you want to just hop over to the other channels and just give us a quick follow, subscribe, helps us out as well if you're enjoying the content. I see you guys there. Come bleed over to us a bit. Come say hello. Be nice. We do cool content. Thank you for the subscription, by the way, Leedy. Man, everyone's coming in. And the War Life. There you go. This is why we ask. You guys, appreciate you. Right, I'll leave the camera on so we don't get done in by copyright strikes, which occasionally happens because they get weird about the adverts. But I shall grab that coffee. Do you want one, Vestian? I'll fax one over.
Oh, yeah. Of course. I think the 10 p.m. coffee might go down crazy. No, I can't Sorry, chat. You're left with me for a little bit. I'll go quickly get something to drink to a water from the fridge. But what a game, man! I'm so glad I'm here for the WE series. Like after watching the BLG WE series, this team is like all of my chips are in the WE basket at this point. Like I want nothing more than to see this team somehow make it to MSI. It is so crazy that it's even possible for how this year and split has gone for them. What a beautiful, beautiful team. Really just, yeah, unreal. How to pick the underdogs? I mean, yeah, I am a sucker for an underdog story in general, but usually I have my teams that I like. Like for Worlds, for example, I was going for the underdogs, but the underdogs were just my region. So it was like, you know, I was going for my region in that case. It wasn't necessarily about them being the underdogs or anything. It was just like, okay, CFO, PSG, and Team Secret Wales are the team from the LCP, so I will be supporting them no matter what. Which was cool, because for the first time in 10 years, we had a very successful run internationally from CFO, and I was really happy as well to see CFO get KT, and then it turned out KT were just absolute monsters and probably should have been able to win the tournament, but T1 did the funny T1 thing they do at every Worlds and ended up winning it. But yeah, I don't know. It was awesome. But yeah, I think the nature of me being a supporter of the LCP means I guess I'll always be supporting the underdogs in that sense. T1 did T1 things. Yeah, I mean, it's just expected at this point, I guess. It's like every world, it's like, who's going to win? On my pick'ems, I would always, like, if I was doing pick'ems without supporting my region, I would always just put T1 there, because it's like, even if they're looking bad, man, it's just for some reason the safest bet. But, you know, I had CFO at the most recent one. The year before I had PSG, so... You know, we don't take pick'ems, I guess, exceptionally serious. MSI plans are going to be an LCK sweep, probably. Really? From what I've seen, LCK don't look leaps and bounds ahead like traditionally you expect them to. Solid 50-50 chance T1 at Worlds. Yeah, it actually is. It's so crazy. It's so crazy the level of consistency that they've been able to have. And Faker, obviously, in specific. I mean, they literally only have to beat LCP, LCS, and LEC. Yeah, true. True. Yeah, and it's all the second seeds. I mean... That is actually a good point. It will be. I guess. I think CBLOL... Does CBLOL seed immediately in, or do they go to the play-ins? I actually don't know that. Super mad. CBLOL only has one seed. I agree. I think CBLOL, they're immediately in. Okay, that's good. But CBLOL is such a fun region to watch. I really enjoy watching CBLOL. It's a shame it shares time with LEC. I think, like, I mean, that's one of the issues that we have for the LCP as well, is that it shares time with both this and LCK. But then, like, CBLOL also have to deal with sharing time with LEC. So, I guess both regions suffer in that regard. I'm super mad Vietnam and PCS have to share seeds. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but we still get 2 seeds at MSI. 2 seeds at MSI. But, yeah, that does suck. I mean, like, I liked having PCS teams to support. I think now I'm pretty confident it will be Team Secret Wales and DCG going from the LCP. But again, like, as you'd know from watching LCP, there is no way to be like, yep, these are the 2 teams that are going. Other than Team Secret Wales, obviously. But, man... anyone except Team Secret Wales are just so inconsistent. It's just, yeah, it's too hard to tell. 12 teams at MSI? I guess just a time thing, right? Especially because like now with EWC just being on at the same time. Hold on, let me quickly go get water before the game starts. Sorry, I keep talking. Right, I'm back. Oh my god, I beat him. I've beaten Sam. What have we got? Okay, so Nocturne banned again by WE, Varus, and Jarvan. I believe same 3 bans. On the other side, Akali, Karma, and Rumble. So, I mean, a lot was removed from game 1, right? The Ashe, Seraphine, a very high pro. Obviously, the Orianna, but we don't often get to see that through. Cassiopeia, I think, stocks go up because Orianna is removed. Although, in saying that, Cassiopeia stocks also go down because Ryze is removed. Israel first pick. Strong laning, AD carry. But, I mean, ultimately, if anything's tanky against him, he does struggle quite a bit. Cassiopeia, very high DPS. Be interesting to see what the answer to this is. If it's something like the Anivia, which is pretty typical, into the Cassiopeia. Or if they just want to go something else. I mean, you've got strong laning champs like Victor that are available. As Nami looks like it will get locked in alongside the Cassiopeia. So half of that bot lane Joe now locked in already. And of course, this is pre-mandate change. So it's still a very strong champion in its own right. And the Neferi. So, I mean, already picking up that pretty monstrous game against BLG. Ultimately, that Monkey did have and is going to try and replicate it this time round on the Neferi. Sion was banned in phase 1.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Breaks when you're yapping for too long. Right, let me change some audio over. How you doing, Vestian?
Oh, very well, very well. I think nothing too shocking in the draft
Fair
so
enough.
far.
Spent too long yapping in the break, guys. That was my fault. Right, how we feel? I mean, Neferi for Monkey should be scary as hell. He is one of the better Neferi players in the LPL. Has been since people started playing that. About always been in one of those Ezreals. He's part of that WE lineage, guys. Ezreal players for WE have always been pretty damn good. Hopes Corky is no longer a meme. It's actually quite good these days. Thank you again for all the support, by the way. I see that we actually managed to get to a little hype train there, which is pretty damn awesome. Thank you guys for joining back in. It means a huge, huge deal. Karis, Akali band. Makes sense. Flandra loses his Sion. He's such a good Sion. The only thing is the Cassiopeia has kind of been the next great mid laner. I think people are blind picking it now, and it is very, very potent.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just does so much damage. And while it does suffer, I guess, from short range, as long as you live the early stage of the game, it's kind of fine. And with Jace removed as well, you kind of face less issues in regards to that.
And especially because you've got your passive move speed plus the ability to buy boots now. Cassiopeia hits a point in the mid game where she just becomes incredibly fast.
Yeah.
Rek'Sai for Flandre, so this is an answer of his into the Sion specifically. Plays into things like the Xante and a few other matchups too, but originally it was a Sion answer. Would not surprise me in the slightest to see Flandre go towards that one, and will indeed log it in. What are we now looking? I'm assuming something that allows you to play with a little bit of forward power from Karis. I think the Ahri or the LeBlanc would make some sense. Nico for Ura has always been a pick that he really enjoys. It does pair well with the Ezreal and gives you some actual CC and ability to kind of join the Sion and Neferi on their journeys into the backline. Darth Necris, thank you for the follow.
It also helps to match the laning power of the Corki Nami. Although it still isn't as potent as Corki Nami, you kind of need something that offers, return damage. So I think, the Nico does make a lot of sense.
Is Alex okay? Yeah, he's away. He's literally just away on holiday, basically, for a couple days. So he's taking a quick break. He's got some partner birthday stuff to celebrate, so he's away in other parts of Germany for a little bit, which is completely fine. He's actually they were actually in chat earlier, so you might even be able to say hey, hello for them. They'll be back in 2-3 days. I think they're back on Thursday. They should be back at some point on Thursday. It should be fine. So yeah, don't worry, Alex is fine. Looks like draft fell through there briefly, but thank you for checking in. That's very thoughtful of you. But I promise you, my brother was just fine.
He's off on his merry adventures.
Precisely, and to be fair, Alex has basically been here the entire time, so they earned themselves. They earned themselves a little bit of downtime. I am good, thank you. I'm joined by the wonderful Bastian, which makes things a lot easier on my end. So how are you feeling about the draft so far?
Downtime in LoL Esports. I mean, it's perfectly fine. I think, the game feels a little hard for Netheria against Cassiopeia. But you can kind of just try and play around throwing out Qs because there isn't a lot of range, so there's nothing really stopping you from doing that.
And if Cassiopeia ever uses W for someone else, suddenly your license to jump in is ridiculous.
And I'm of the opinion, I think Netheria is the most broken champ in the game right now.
She's
the
very
amount of
strong.
It is unbelievable to me how broken this champion is, especially because it builds Voltaic. And I think Voltaic is also just the most broken item in the game.
So strong, yeah.
Yes, it's just ridiculous, man. This champ has one item and will one-shot whoever it ults outside of Scion and will attack.
And even then, I think Netheria's better into tanks than some people give credit because her bleed stacks Black Cleaver so fast. So between that and the percent HP damage on the Q with the bleed, right? If you hit double Qs on a tank, they will lose 20% of their HP quite happily. Again, you're not one-shotting them, but you do shred them pretty well. Yeah.
No, I do agree. I don't think it's bad against tanks. I was just meaning it will literally one-shot everything that is in a tank is more the point. It's just like... I'm going to go on too much about this if I get stuck into a loop.
Time. Go for it. If there was a time to get in, now is the time.
I've played a lot of solo queue recently, and I don't know about other regions, but in Oceania, man, every single solo queue game just is mandated to have 2 assassins per team. So it's like Talon, Kiana, Katarina, Neferi, Zed. These every single game has 2 of them. And it just, no matter what, man, you could be against, I could be playing, my jungler's a Grandmaster player, their jungler's a Diamond 2, and he's picked a Neferi. It doesn't matter. He is just gapping my jungler because he's picked this champ. It pisses me off.
Yeah, invades well, can do horrible things to...
Yeah. It's super safe. It's guaranteed damage. You just alt press Q. It's guaranteed.
Yeah, and if you get to W first to get all your dogs with you as well, just, oh my days, very, very scary.
Yeah.
OCE solo queue is the secret 11th circle of hell Dante was too scared to write about, says Mabinogi, and she may have a point.
No, she is very correct. She is very. It's a dark place, Oceanic solo queue.
Well, yes.
But
that's a dark place. Never go there, Simba. We're back to draft. I'm assuming things fell through. We'll see. I'm assuming the majority of the draft will stick, guys, but we'll keep our eyes on it.
Yeah, I imagine it'll just be the same, and maybe there was some issue with the final pick, which was Nico. So we'll see if that changes, but usually they don't remake the entire thing in terms of changing.
No, they won't. It'll stick through to, I imagine, second phase of picks and bans, and maybe we start seeing a shift or 2 here. Monkey Neferi, as we said. Ezreal's going to be quite annoying to get on top of. The only thing is you don't necessarily have an enchanter to keep the Scion alive. Scion Nami as a front to back is about as potent as it gets, right? Because, all the CC, the healing, etc. Does, as far as your options to play out a team fight front to back specifically, it's very difficult to get more potent than that, but that's not quite where WWE have gone. AL, on the other side, have got themselves pretty good anti-dive, right, between the Miasma, the Petrifying Gaze, the Tidal Wave. Actually, honestly, Rek'Sai's not bad either into things like the Neferi, because you just stand there and attack move towards the Neferi as she flies in, and you can knock her up as she lands from her ult, which can be very potent.
Yep, that is true. Sometimes it is hard to sort of find the space in a team fight to be able to do that, though. Just typically, you know, wanting to try and create space. But I mean, if you ever, I mean, it means that Monkey cannot afford to overextend. Although this helps a lot. Oh, that doesn't. We're back to the Ari.
Okay.
I mean, this is an insane skirmishing power through the mid jungle here from Monkey and Karis. So I think ultimately the onus is on those two to try and link up to do things around the map.
I mean, Trundle makes a lot of sense into the Scion at the very least. That does allow you to play the front to back a lot more aggressively, right? Between the Pillar and then obviously, more importantly, that Subjugate. Subjugate plus Cassiopeia Corki shredding your resist and DPS checking you.
Yeah.
Q's you have to play a very mean Scion game.
He
Is
is.
WE channeling their
Trundle's a
DRX
great
run? Yes,
pick.
they are right now.
Dude, yeah, somehow. Honestly, from the position they were in, it's like almost more impressive to me. Obviously, to win the Worlds is the impressive part, but like if you put it, I guess, in context, this is very impressive what they've done. Even winning a game here against AL, it's I think proven it wasn't a fluke, right? The series win, and they may go on to lose this series, but I think even just showing they can challenge AL and beat BLG means that they are a real contender.
No, I completely agree. And I look at this comp as well. Like, the front to back is good from AL. But I'm looking at Nico, Ezreal. Everyone's got mobility. Everyone's got mobility or flank angle opportunities. Ezreal and Ari, obviously, notoriously mobile. The Nico coming from the flank. The Fury coming from a flank. Sion ulting from another direction. You want to play a front to back here in a lot of ways as AL. And yes, you can deal with the Sion, with the Subjugate, and that's all well and good. But I do get a little bit worried that if they start taking a fight in one direction and someone causes them to stumble or have to take a weird shape because of a good flank, and especially if an additional member gets fed, then things could get quite tricky in these team fights. And I think WE have actually been very good at playing around rapid overloads off resets and having people come from weird angles off resets, and I don't think that teams have been particularly respectful of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's a great team comp for both teams, and it is hard, I think, like, for both teams. If ever Monkey, I think in particular, oversteps, and he can just get blown up. But it's the same for pretty much everyone on AL, inclusive of this Rek'Sai. Is there is a lot of damage coming through from this Neferi, and a lot of isolated sort of a single target damage as well. That Neferi doesn't ever get that tanky, right? He gets a lot of health, but he doesn't get that tanky in terms of those resistances, so he will fall pretty quickly to the champions of WE. Even this Ezreal will be perfectly capable of dealing with a Rek'Sai continuing through to the later stages of this game.
Yeah, I agree. We'll get a bit dicey. Welcome back, Amber, by the way. Good to see you. Hope does immediately take a nasty trade there as the exhaust comes on through from about. Exhaust on Ezreal, very potent in the early stages with your lethal tempo and your ability to just keep hitting people from miles away with your Qs. Does a lot of work on that one. And that is going to be...
Yeah, I think credit.
Yeah, a fair deal on that one. Sorry, so I've interrupted you there. Got distracted by chat.
I think it's like credit to the bot lane here of WE for applying so much pressure and having such a positive trade. Of course, it does cost them the exhaust, which is a slightly longer cooldown than the barrier, but still getting that early trade, getting a great sort of first recall off is always the hardest part of bot lane. Once you get those first recalls through, bot lane typically becomes a lot easier to play for both sides. You're able to trade just that much more health. There still isn't really that much damage to deal with the health you get naturally, and so being able to win in the earlier stage of this lane, it typically does bode well for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, it does. And I think WE's early games was the thing that started to show up first when we started to see inklings of WE turning the ship around. They started to be able to get early 1,000-2,000 gold leads against Ascend teams, and that was including the upper tier teams. They managed to take games off people like JDG, having started early snowballs, and that it was a good sign for them. It's now turned into something a lot more competitive. They're not perfect. We've seen the fumbles in the mid game as they sometimes overforce some plays, maybe don't do all the due diligence in their rotations. I see you, Karis and Era, but they have still managed to get themselves to a point where they are a legitimate threat, and they start off this game again with an early few hundred gold lead. It's modest, but it is a good start. I know there was a little point in chat saying, "Oh, Flandre off comfort," and I'll push back on that one a little bit as well. Flandre might not have played it a little bit recently, but it's been a massive Rek'Sai top enjoy. It was arguably the only good Rek'Sai top in the world. Lots of other people tried it and fumbled it.
Oh, absolutely. At Worlds, he was undeniably the best Rek'Sai top at the most recent World Championship. He was incredible on the pick. And again, I mean, like, similar to what you see now is he does typically go down a bit of CS on the pick, but his team fighting, his awareness of where he needs to be, which on Rek'Sai is actually pretty hard. Like, you have so many decisions to make in the middle of a fight to actually team fight effectively on the champion, but he has consistently been able to do so, at least at the Worlds. So I have full faith in him being able to do so in what is ultimately a very easy matchup for the Rek'Sai.
Monkey did just get double scuttled, by the way, while all this is happening. He's going to try and hop over into this Scuttle Crab. Does have Smite, so does Tarzan. Makes this a bit interesting. Flandre's coming on over, really wants this Scuttle, this Krugs. Will get it, but then there's a flash and he dies for it, so really not worth it in the grand scheme of things. Flandre comes on over, and Monkey really felt the need to try and get in and not fall too far behind, and gets punished for it.
I wonder what happened to cause Monkey's clear to be so slow. Because his clear was substantially slower than that of Tarzan's. And Neferi is a reasonably quick jungle clearer for the first clear. So I wonder if he somehow accidentally reset a camp or something weird happened.
Shanks has to flash, does survive the flash. Charm goes wide as Shanks gets a good sidestep, but still has to burn the flash in the grand scheme of the trade.
Yeah, not a bad trade. Certainly punishable as well. A lot more mobility when you hit level 6 here for the Ahri, where Shanks will be lacking.
Flandre doing the Kled tricks of stack up the wave, go in, get demolished, back away. Can do that into the side. And Kled does it by having insane base HP because of Skarl, and that gives your demolished procs a lot of value. Go shout out to Finn, who we did a little segment on LEC about that. But obviously here, less of the concern, as we will be looking at Dragon, the other side of the map. Tarzan starting that one up. Monkey looking to go topside. Punish Flandre, of course. Burned the flash to get involved. Murdering Monkey. There's the tunnel away. The Scion ult comes on in. The knock-up will be there from both, looking to try and Void Assault forwards, and will likely still die here. Void Rush, I apologise. There's no Kha'Zix to be found. Finds another knock-up, but Monkey gets the kill and takes his red buff back. It's still off cooldown. Yeah.
They do lose Dragon for it, but it is a good pickup, and it is on to probably who you want it to be on most, ultimately, in this composition. So getting that answer back, Flandre as well will be able to teleport to receive most of the wave, but nonetheless a good find. He doesn't actually pay for it in terms of his camps as well, which I think is important. I think actually maybe he did lose the Raptors, as he's going to recall, head to those Krugs in the bottom side of the map. But again, similar to the first game, a very early first Dragon picked up here for AL. Obviously, from here on after, it was all WE, so we'll see if this time AL can do something to try and combat that.
And again, having Tarzan ahead and get another Scuttle Crab would be a huge starting point. Smites that away, and that puts him to a very significant point of power. Already half a level up. Make that a full level up in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
actually, looking at those experience by, it's huge. Hope gets exhausted, but about stepping up with Ura, getting a decent chunk. Ari's also on the roam here. Could get very spicy if it's not over the wall. Kyle is in danger. No charm thrown quite yet. Tries to bait out a flash, and will get the heal at the very least. Karis gets the kill. 2 stacks on that Dark Seal, and a Hope is forced off the wave, interrupted on the recall with the True Shot Barrage, forcing the Valkyrie.
A lot of value coming out of that. Of course, Shanks does get some free time in the mid lane, but ultimately, kill picked up. Karis makes great use of his roam timer, uses his ult, gets the kill, and also with that True Shot Barrage denying Hope his recall does mean they lose even more in this bottom side, and a very substantial advantage in gold for the bottom lane this time of WE. It's almost roles reversed from how game 1 was looking.
Is that little bit, again, WE still with that gold lead, and again, the fact they've managed to get that early kill on the Ahri is good news. The point of concern, I think, will be the fact that Tarzan is just doing Tarzan things, which is get an early lead and then really look to leverage it. Has managed to pick himself up kind of an extra third of CS here, compared to Monkeys on about, you know, 20 CS down at this point, which is significant in the jungles, particularly this early stage. Monkey's finally hit that level 6, but that full level is going to stick around, especially if Tarzan can keep this pace up, and that matters a lot in the jungle, as we have seen over the last few weeks and patches.
Nice. Flandre dropping a ward on that top side, so it gives more reason for AL to be skeptical of walking up to this wave and hope, respecting the fact that there could be a Neferi in this bush, and for some reason there is. So Monkey, realizing he's behind and really is just committing to the bit. He's going to lose these grubs now, and actually was an opportunity of Tarzan to realize where he could have even looked for more. He's still here, but Hope pinging out that Neferi could be there. He's gone to the third bush. This is the most insane passage of play.
And look, his whole topside quadrant's up. Tarzan can look in there. They've got to know, because that camp is they've got a ward on the blue buff, so they know that the Neferi must be bot side, because they're not clearing camps.
He will be able to take Tarzan's bot side potentially, but Tarzan's on the way down here. So maybe just a Gromp. Shanks on the roam.
Tarzan's come over. This will get spicy.
Oh, this is
Everyone's
spicy.
here. There's the charm
Nice
onto
dodge
Shanks.
off the
Force him the other way. They can maybe look over the wall as Tarzan just get a bonk down with the pillar. Monkey steals away a camp. Can now maybe look to fight over this blue buff. Carry still got charges left on the ult. Flash in from Purr with the pop blossom. Shanks is dead and Tarzan follows. Oh, it's superb. The support dropped from Weibo, laughing his way to a lead against AL in playoffs. He made the right call.
I cannot believe a Neferi AFKing in bot bush for about 2 minutes results in a double kill and camps for the Neferi. What? This is the most insane passage of play. And it's something, it's so uniquely them as well. And that's one of the things you can utilize. It's something that I think, honestly, Europe is often the best at doing, is doing things that isn't the status quo. And these teams that are so used to just a standard way of playing League of Legends get taken aback by it.
And it's not like AL aren't good at doing, here's the playbook for jungle. They are a bit of an NFL team in that regards, where actually coach plus Tarzan says, okay, here's the playbook for the early game. We run it this way. And they've got these really creative early strategies. Tarzan getting those early leads then tends to lead to very suffocating game positions for AL when they can make that happen. When it doesn't, AL often look a lot more anemic in the early game. We've had conversations about their laning prowess of late, though again, I do think Flandre on the whole has been stepping up in that regard. Again, the last game, kind of a bit of an anomaly in that regard, but Monkey and the rest of the team have always been willing to say, we're going to do something a little bit weird. We're going to fully commit to this lane push, and basically we don't get the kill on bot, fine. We're going to use all our members here to go invade. We're stronger right now. Let's go.
Yeah, and what an insane passage of play. I mean, honestly, Erha truly
so good.
Finding the pop blossom of all time here. Just immaculate. Everything. Double true shot barrage. The Q goes through both. Absolutely annihilates both of them. And then somehow Monkey's able to get all 3 of those camps. He gets all of his camps, and just like that, he's well and truly back in the game and ahead. Voltaic Cyclosword now picked up ahead of the second dragon.
There we go.
But as the teleport comes through from Flandre, it should just be claimed.
Monkey has to flash
is
out.
going to have to flash away.
Yeah, nice idea. Couldn't quite get the smite, but Flandre is around, going to get hit by that charm. Cube didn't come on down, so it really was just looking for the smite steal. Monkey can't quite get that there, so it is second dragon for AL, and that is probably the thing that will keep them feeling a little happier in this game. If they get Hex Soul, it is double Hex Soul games back to back, by the way, then suddenly the game feels a lot different again. You've got a lot of very annoying ways to proc Hex Soul between Corky Rocket and Rek'Sai Prey Seeker. Gonna have a bit of a play down towards Ura here, who speeds themselves away with the heal away from that great ghost ship of the tidal wave. Everyone from WE now turns top, looking across map aggressively, and Flandre is gonna have to do a lot of work to try and stay alive. Flashes initially, the knockup's there, but the Hound's pursuit does the damage required, can drop the aggro. Cube tanks it though, and will roar of the Slayer and Soul Furnace to ensure that he stays alive just fine, and Flandre dies.
Yeah, well, not game ending that your Rek'Sai's been targeted and loses a couple of waves. It is ultimately him teleporting down to make sure they get that dragon, and now dying immediately as he returns top is a lot of time away from minions. And I think most importantly, there's a lot of time away that Cube hasn't been. So there should be a pretty substantial XP advantage being formulated from Cube as he has completed that top lane quest, as have both of them. But obviously, speeding up the XP process is going to feel very good for a Sion, who, when he is ahead on levels, is extremely hard to deal with, even for those champs that do have good single target, like the Cassiopeia.
Allow me to do a bit of shilling as well. Got a couple people in chat going, hell, it says Happy PCs counter. What is this? It's the Opera GX sponsorship we've got, guys. Basically, Opera GX in chat with that exclamation mark at the beginning of it. And you'll get the link to come and support me and Alex by having a look at a cool new browser. It's actually completely free. It'll cost you 10 seconds of your time. And if you have a look at it, you don't even have to use it for that long. If you go, you know what, it's not for me. All we really need you to do is use our link, give it a look, and if you stick with it, great news. If you don't, you still help support us by downloading it. Basically, if we get a load of people downloading it, we get paid at the end of the month. You get to try out a new cool browser, and if you don't like it, that's also completely fine. But honestly, I've been using it, I've been enjoying it, so please do give it a go.
When was the last time WE were true contenders for an international? Because, like, my mind immediately goes to, like, Xiao Wei Xiao, but it can't have been that long ago, surely. There must have been a time more recently.
They've had a couple moments here and there where they've made deep runs. There was a kind of miracle run that was happening maybe nearly a decade ago now with Teacher Ma on the Galio, kind of making this crazy run where they had a really good regular season. It kind of fell apart a little bit.
Right.
Last year's Split 2 was kind of close as well. Yeah, actually, they had in fact, to be fair, last year they had a bit of a close run. They couldn't quite make it through playoffs. They've gotten momentarily there once or twice. There was some moments with Mystic where it was looking relatively close as well, where he was on good form, but it never really stuck around. I need to go back and look at the exact dates again. Cube dropped the wave, now going top, and actually they're giving the gold to Monkey top, by the way. He got the solo gold for the turret top.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Oh no. Ooh, is he going to face check it? They've got to know. Now they step past. Oh boy, he left! And that leaves the bot lane somewhat out to dry. The TP's come about. Has ended up really deep. That was a bit awkward.
Yeah. I don't know how he ended up tanking. He must have landed a Q.
Must have done.
See, but Cube, he should be able to waddle his way away.
Shank's just going to keep running at him there. Won't quite be able to find it. About's in danger. Does have the arcane shift, so actually will be okay to get out. AL traded on that bot lane turret. But the thing is, again, WE are now up nearly 3,000 gold, which is insane. And again, where they've managed to donate that gold is pretty crazy. About is up quietly, 1,200 gold. Monkey as well, despite being double scuttled, triple scuttled, really, in the early stage of the game, is now ahead in farm, up 1,300 gold, just donated first turret blood.
Yeah, I mean, Monkey was down like 20 CS after the second clear and is now up 1.4k. It's such a crazy turn of events. And of course, it was off the back mostly of Erha. I mean, credit to Monkey for being so persistent in that bottom lane, but it was a phenomenal pop blossom by him that really got him back into this game as they look for the rift. Tarzan isn't going to give this willingly, though.
Smites early, trying to read it, doesn't get it. Look at the flank again, Erha! It's just a god on this Nico. They get a petrifying gaze, but it's through an exhaust, so it does nothing. Cube there on the Scion, runs at him, about hits another Mystic shot. But on the other side, Tarzan's done a little bit of work, actually, making this a bit more interesting. Flondra going to get knocked out of his tunnel, and About with the lethal tempo stack will get the triple. Tarzan needs to run away. Watch Karis, doesn't have the flash, can maybe look to slow down Tarzan with the roar of the Slayer, but they will look for this turret. 4 for 3 in the grand scheme of things, but my God, he's on form today.
Yeah, look, Monkey's picked up a lot of MVPs for this team, but I think if this one gets across the line so far, I mean, Erha's already done enough in this game to convince me that he deserves it. That pop blossom was phenomenal. He finds the angle, no vision, 3-man on the back line, really opens up the space for About. Monkey dives into the pit trying to take down Tarzan and unfortunately wasn't able to do so, but they do get the Herald. They get a bunch of kills. It's a 3 for 2, 4 for 2 actually by the end of it. And so just continuing to win harder and harder here as they are going to start eyeing up this potential soul point for AL.
It's Erra in the form of the Ahri. They think it's the Ahri.
Wow.
Well, and Karis now spotted, and they just they drop vision. They said they see the near. They've got him on Tremor Sense the entire time.
There it is. I think no one's paying attention to the tremor. That has to be what it is because it completely took them aback. Able to land that last Mystic shot.
Oh, Lord. About also just getting to free fire that entire fight. He's now 4-0. Flondra is the one who picks up the kills for WE, which just isn't necessarily who you want. Don't get me wrong. Shojin plus Titanic Hydra is a good spike on the Rek'Sai. You suddenly become a legitimate carry threat, able to blow up some of those squishy members if you get on top of them. But you'd love that on the Corki, on the Cassiopeia. Someone with a bit more consistent threat in the game. That's not bad in terms of
pretty low here, so
yeah.
WE are going to have to try and find a way out. Shanks.
They're 5,500 gold up.
Unfortunate. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Shanks, who is, I mean, ultimately still relatively not strong yet, but will get relatively strong this game. That the person against him that got fed is now the Israel, because that's about the one champion that he cannot really do anything to, and that will just kill him from out of range. So it's a really hard game now for Shanks because of that last team fight and how all the kills just got funneled into that Israel. Because you're pretty much playing, if you're ever trying to walk forward into the Israel as Cassiopeia, you're going to have a rough time.
Overload here.
I mean, it's rough.
Karis has got ult.
Karis.
So I think it's going to be quite tricky. You're going to spot Tarzan coming. There's the smite. Monkey will call the pack and eviscerate away. Does manage to blast going into the river. That's a little bit deep. Will flash away. It's not the best angle, but now Karis looking to come on down himself. Looks for a charm, does land it. Still got the ult to work with. Dodged away from Hope's active range. Monkey needs to jump away. They've jumped onto a bout. Now he's in danger himself. Flashed on in and will likely die. Where's the Void Rush? They're going to get that kill. Monkey goes into the river. Looks to Hound's Pursuit in. Dug damage onto Tarzan, but the pillar is in. And AL find a great fight as Monkey got chunked and about somehow got in range of the Rek'Sai, who ended up blasting his head off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to About, but he just looked completely lost there. It seems like he E'd forwards before discovering the Rek'Sai's there. I'm not sure, but he just got absolutely annihilated without being able to do anything in the fight. And without that Israel being able to contribute, it's just a done deal. It looked like a great collapse initially. Monkey, of course, here gets caught out, has to flash away, does get out, and I think Cube's teleport looks to me like it should be winning. But what happens to About? He does. He just E's randomly, and unfortunately with Flundry's TP, it punishes him completely.
Yeah, I think he E'd to get in range, wanted to be there as the fight was happening now. But because he used that E and didn't have the flash from the last fight, Rek'Sai TP became incredibly dangerous. Monkey tries to get on Tarzan, but again, the fact that he was chunked out so heavily before the fight really kicked off ends up punishing well, and that just drops about 2,000 of that big gold lead. And WE, still with their flaws, guys. They are not a perfect team. For all, the glow-up has been pretty monumental.
Yeah, still up a substantial amount of gold, and ultimately the shutdown going on to the Rek'Sai is actually not that big of an issue, I don't think, for WE, because again, as I said earlier, he doesn't build all that much resistances, so actually they will have the damage to deal with him, as Tarzan gonna have to use that pillar to get himself out and away from the decimating smash.
Yeah, I thought that decimating smash was a sure run thing, but you're right, that pillar was something I hadn't quite calculated for. Tarzan does get by the Darkened Daggers, and the dogs go biting him down. Cube, though, has to flash out of the Aqua Prison again. They have got ways of dealing with these frontliners, but now over the flank comes Karis, gets a good charm onto Tarzan. The two-shot barrage comes crashing on through. Flonder's got deep, but doesn't really find what he's looking for. AL look for a few bits here. Some summoners blown, but no one really dies. Cube's flash in particular was the big one there. Subjugate, making Cube a little bit squishier, understandably.
Able to get out, though. Oh, I like this build as well, coming through from Cube here, going for the Spirit Visage second. As you pointed out in the draft, no enchanter for him. The combination of Unending Despair and Spirit Visage makes your Unending Despair heal really ridiculous.
Yeah.
Exactly. And in a game where you do lose a lot of your tank stats, health, the ability to regen your health actually becomes even more crucial. Yeah. So against the Trundle, I think in particular, this is a really, really intelligent build. So I do really like this adaptation, and maybe it is just something that you can go the majority of games, but here in particular, I think it does very well.
Yeah, I think Cube's also going to be a little bit careful about the amount of farm he's been dropping. 144 in 20 minutes isn't superb, and just need to be a little bit careful not to become too out of whack. He's still only at that one item split off for a Bramble Vest, which makes some sense. Again, you're in the Cassiopeia, do a lot of healing. There's an army, the Trundle, the Rek'Sai, obviously, as well, with that passive healing, can get quite annoying. And I do think at this point, the Rek'Sai's ability to disrupt and threaten people like the Ahri and the Ezreal, if they do try to play aggressively, makes this a little bit more interesting. Going to see a Dragon started by WE. I think AL want to pick up this top turret if they can. The Trundle's coming on over. About's going to try and take away this blue buff and should be able to nab that before Tarzan can get involved. And that should just allow second Dragon over to WE, who are just happy enough to let things slow down. Quick note as well before I hand back over to Vestian. I know I'm talking around a few different points here, but please do check out Karras' inventory. Gone for a very burst-heavy build, which I think is quite wise this game. More importantly, because he's just got that Shadow Flame and the Dark Seal stacks, he is actually going to be doing a lot more than that 300 gold lead might imply. I think the Medjais this game could be very nasty.
Yeah, absolutely. I do like that. I think, and he did it on the Orianna too, where he just went for a very burst heavy, try and get the damage at the very front of the team fight, and I think it works well. Again, similarly to the point about Ezreal being able to deal the Rek'Sai, well, also the Ahri is going to be able to do a lot of damage to this Rek'Sai because, again, the nature of just building health. And so I do think it's completely fine. I think it's actually good here, as well as to the point of cube dropping CS. I mean, there's a lot of times this game where it looks like he's over grouping, but unfortunately for him, there's just been a lot of times where one of the side lanes has just been in a terrible position and they're prioritizing getting that farm onto their carries, which does make sense, but he is paying the price pretty heftily, especially in that XP, because you can be okay with your Scion being down gold, but I think when your Scion's down levels is where things become quite dicey.
Would love to
and
get
you're
at
seeing
least level
here,
14 here, wouldn't he? He's sticky around on that bot lane to pick that up for that reason. You're completely right. I think also remember they gave a lot of farm over to Monkey to get him back into the game, and now he's 3 items to be fair. So Black Cleaver, Voltaic, Eclipse, that's about as dangerous as it gets. You've got Endless Hunger now and about. So in some ways, you know, the 60 CS lead bot is also very meaningful, right? And that will also be a problem. Tarzan trading well with Monkey, backstep on the Aqua Prison.
I also wonder if this is a game where About could potentially look at purchasing something like a Frozen Heart. I think ultimately against Rek'Sai, Trundle, and Corki, it does very, very well. You're not really pressed for damage that much. So it could be an option.
Oh my god, Tarzan's low, has to flash away. The double TPs, the dogs are on, the bleed. Cubes in, Flandre has to try and tunnel away. The Darkin daggers don't quite land, but that was very, very scary for the Trundle. Without him having his flash, I wonder whether, particularly because it's red side, WE might go, you know, we could start Baron here. Trundle has no way in, there's no blast code, no flash.
As a dog. Tarzan is sprinting back, though. If the Dead Man's played as well, is going to get there even quicker. They're going to locate where this Nico is, but without the team in the location, he's not going to be able to do all that much. Flandre looks a little bit isolated, does have to flash away, and the pillar does help him get out too.
Yeah, I don't know whether with the pillar it would still have needed the flash, but I guess it could have been a bit dicey, so good, better safe than sorry. But again, Flandre without the flash, that Rek'Sai becomes a lot less scary to people like the Ahri and the Ezreal. Still got to get out of here as Monkey will call the pack and jump away. Help! And they go, yeah, sure. What do you think the number of the pack is? Plus 44076.
What? I've misunderstood.
Okay, so Neferi calls the pack, and I was wondering what the phone number of the pack was. And I've just clearly confused you, yeah. See, this is why my brain is a bizarre and dangerous place, not safe for mere mortals. So I understand, you know, you're probably doing yourself a favor not to jump into that Cthulian mess.
No, I think it's 67888998212.
All right.
I'm pretty sure.
Right, sorry.
Yeah. Now that I'm caught up to speed with what we were talking about.
It's like, why did I agree to cast with this slightly insane
human? No. It's good fun. Yeah, really, I'm honestly spoiling for a fight. I think for the side of WE, you really probably can just afford to wait for Karras to get that Void Staff, especially because of how many stacks you have on Dark Seal. A lot of magic resist coming through too, with those 3 Merc Treads already being picked up. On the side there of AL, so there is quite a lot of value to come through from that Void Staff.
It does mean, though, that people like About and Monkey are going to be hitting really hard. Like, it's annoying Karras, right? But I think the moment he gets that Void Staff, life feels pretty good. I mean, you'd love to get a Medjais, but I do... Ooh, that Petrified Case going wide kind of sucks. Will now not be available for this Dragon fight. Soul Point for WE, reminder if they get there. And they're on a team with an Ezreal, who abuses Hex Soul like few others, and also loves Hex Dragons like few others. Attack speed and ability haste? Like, is there a more blessed set of stats for an Ezreal?
No, it is. He is one of the champs that utilize it to its fullest potential, I think, out of every champion in the roster. True Shot Barrage this time does not connect with a squishy, so it doesn't do that massive burst of damage. Keep in mind as well, WE, all flashes available, while Tarzan and Rek'Sai, Flandre, missing out on their flashes here, so it is an advantage in terms of those summoner spells. The dance around this dragon isn't so clear. It's very hard for Shanks to walk in. Still doesn't have access to the Petrifying Gaze either, but Monkey has to be careful.
Yeah, it does indeed. That was close indeed. The damage was pretty nasty. Oh, big flash charm! Oh, it's superb! And the Pop Blossom on the side, they get onto the Cassiopeia, and the snake slithers into a 6-foot hole. They get both carries, and WE, these flank plays, these vision denial engages have just been exceptional. WBG may have made a mistake.
I cannot believe that WE are doing it and doing it this well as well, but the dragon is going to be contested.
They are, but it's not going to matter. The soul point still secured by WE. And look, they've already started with 3 members on the Baron. They want to get double for 1.
Teleport coming through though, Flandre, he's coming up to join. You see that Cuban Monkey trying to make their way there, and honestly, the members that are doing this Baron aren't doing it that well. Very, very squishy as Flandre just pops up to the sky and pops back down. Cube might die for the sins. There is no alt. Oh my,
huge
never mind.
Shield,
that is an insane shield. Oh, the Spirit Visage value. It's so good, this game. It's honestly, I mean, I think Spirit Visage is super underutilized on Scion. That exact usage of W shows it.
Oh, the Darkin Dagger Charm combo is just disgusting. From the flank, they see him, but it's too little too late. And Shanks gets caught out. And this is what I was worried about when we got into this thing. Look, if it's a front to back, AL feel great, but WE had been so good, especially with a comp like this, about coming from multiple angles and making your team fight shape so awkward.
Yeah, I mean, front to back against Nico, Ari, and Neferi is going to be hard to find ultimately. And so WE playing around their win condition perfectly well. And I mean, a great identification of that ability to flash Charm Hope, take him out immediately. Tarzan.
He's trying.
He's looking.
But he's used his pillars, so he can't interrupt anymore. Now he gets rooted up and gets taken
flash.
real low. In comes Karis looking for the charm. Lands it onto the Rek'Sai, so not the best target, but still 20% of their HP down. Karis, of course, at this point in the game, pretty low on the cooldown for the ult. The True Shot Barrage comes on down, and WE are making this game, with the one notable exception of that awkward fight in the jungle, look pretty smooth going. This is not the team that was 0-16 in game score. Wipe the slates clean and look at them with a new lens, a new perspective, because they are sure as hell not looking anything like what they did. They have been to the salon, they come out with a fresh new cut, and it looks pretty damn fly.
They're able to take down that mid inhib tower. Looking towards the bot lane inhib now. Gonna be hard to crack without that pressure of mid, but Shanks is trying to deal with that last remaining cannon minion as another wave is quickly approaching.
There's pings on a wall, by the way. I wonder whether they might look for the TP flank. Keep your eyes on that one down the lane. Cube's going to be left real low. That's ultimate the walls. Just about gets to run away for a second or two, but will likely fall and does so. They get that one. Comes at cost, of course, of that mid lane inhibitor turret. Monkey on that flank angle, being run out himself, will call the pack. Needs to run over the wall with the Eviscerate. Again, Tarzan pretty damn quick here with the Deadmans. Makes things a bit scary, but again, because they run towards Monkey, they leave their bot lane inhibitor turret exposed. But that also means that Monkey's not there, so WE need to be a little bit careful about their spacing. Flandre looking to get behind. There's the Pop Blossom. Flandre gets a knock up, gets knocked up in turn. Karis needs to ult away, goes down. Damage back is good. The True Shot Barrage. A bow is a monster. Gets to a arcane shift away. Needs to keep running. The exhaust. Trying to get Shanks. Can't get it. Looking to get into here and keep things rolling as Monkey's got all the HP. The Nico gets the kill. The Hounds pursued the resets. They just don't say die. WE will never go quietly in a fight. That was a 3v5 for the majority of it.
That is insane. So much damage done by about. Monkey's able to return from the top side of the map and finish out the fight. It's a clean ace. Well, not a clean ace, but an ace nonetheless, as Monkey trying to put the finishing touches of this game number 2, trying to put WE up 2-1
He's not
against
gonna
anyone's
try.
legend.
He's just going to damn well do it. WE, from the depths of winless, absolute despair, their fans wondering what on earth had happened to the once great organization. They were once known as World Elite. They're beating the World's Elite one more time. 2-0, series point. They win this game They win this game, and MSI is a real possibility. Win this at MSI. Win this at MSI.
I am in disbelief that WE. I mean, how much better of an early game could AL ask for? Tarzan's up 20 CS off the back of 2 clears, and it is still somehow one fight they find in the bottom jungle. Erha, in particular, not getting any of the votes right now, but in my eyes, definitely deserves to be in the conversation, because this is not even a game for. They're not even in this without his Nico players.
Yeah.
This was such a fantastically well-played game by the bot lane, in particular with WE.
It really, really, really was, wasn't it? I am slightly in awe here. And again, I think Karis had some great charms there on the RE2, a valid option. For me, it's Era, who I think had those really, really clutch engages. I wouldn't hate it if it's Karis. I see the thought process. And again, hats off to him. He played a good game. But I think it would be a disservice to a player who has been somewhat maligned, it has to be said. Dropped from a team again. People going, oh, he's not aggressive enough. He's been bloody ruthless. There was conversation, oh, he doesn't fit Weibo's playstyle. They want to be more aggressive, is what we were hearing as the rumors. And I was like, does this look like a player who's playing it safe? Not to me right now. He's been very, very cool. Kip Glide, by the way, thank you for the subscription in the middle of the game. Now I was a bit distracted by the scenes happening there. And speaking of that, we're about to run some ads. If you don't want to see the ads, subscribe to the Twitch channel. We're also pushing for Partner Plus. We got very close last month. We'd like to get over the line this month if we can. So if you've been gifted a sub, consider actively resubscribing, because it actually helps us get over that line. You don't have to do it forever. Just a couple months will get us over that line. Again, if you do want to stick around forever, that would be brilliant. But again, consider what you're spending is maybe a coffee, 2 coffees worth of money to help support us in a way that is genuinely meaningful and potentially helps transform our lives, because it changes the payout from Twitch, which is very significant when actually it happens from a couple hundred of you every month. So please do help. That one would be really, really, really awesome. Thank you guys to those who do help out. Much appreciate if you do that one. On top of that, you may notice below us, some people have been asking each other, well, what's this Happy PCs thing about? That's about Opera GX. It's our sponsor for the month. If you want to use the command ! Opera GX in chat, I'll pop that over in the YouTube chat to myself in a second or two. You'll get a link. You click on that link and you download Opera GX, which will be a minute of your time, if that. You help me and Alex out by actually giving us some money. You can try out a really cool new browser. To those that do, you don't have to use it forever, but I promise you it's actually a very cool browser in its own right, with a lot of cool bells and whistles. It's got a lot of integrations. You can take all your bookmarks and extensions over from Chrome, so you're not even losing your stuff from Chrome if you're a Chrome user. So give it a look. It's 2 minutes. You can give it a go and you go, yeah, it's not for me. That's fine. It's free. It's actually a good bit of software, so I'm not pushing something I wouldn't use myself. I do. It's a cool browser, so please do give it a look. There's also a Ko-fi link. Please do like, follow, subscribe on the YouTube and all the other channels as well, and our socials. Spiel over. I'll turn the camera off. Subscribe. Opera GX. Ko-fi link. You guys do the rest. Thank you for all the support. Thank you, Lemke. There you go. 30 months, my God. The big 30.
This is such a beautiful timeline. I'm so glad I'm here for this.
I'm so excited to be here.
I just cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. You very, very rarely get this sort of situation. Very rarely. I think someone said it in chat earlier, obviously, but the DRX situation was, I guess, the closest you have to it, the DRX 2022 Worlds. But even then, it's different, right? That's still a team that's like, they're from the LCK. You expect them to be competitive at Worlds anyway. This is a team that was like, they weren't not even on anyone's mind. They've come, they've beaten who most people believe are the best team in the world. And they're now taking out who would, still be in conversations as sort of top 5 most of the time. This is unreal.
Again, win this and you're in upper bracket finals. If you win this, you are guaranteed top 3. LPL has 3 MSI slots. Win the next game and WE are at bloody MSI. Like, I genuinely can't exaggerate how insane that is.
That's unbelievable. Please win it. Please win it. Oh man, oh man. I do think though it can't be ignored that Erha was robbed from the MVP voting. I cannot believe that.
That's just a fan vote, right? So he may well still win this. So don't worry, the MVP is yet to come.
All right, good, because this isn't even a game worth talking about if he doesn't find not only that first play, obviously at the blue buff, but the Rift Herald fight as well. I think, like, yeah, we're not even having a conversation about it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just all on the same page. It's so impressive.
I think the other thing is, like, very clearly they trust each other to make the engages, and to be honest, they are so locked in. They have been finding these angles and timings to full send so well. And this was a player who people genuinely thought was the worst AD carry in the league, by the way, in Split 1. Has just picked up the Ezreal and absolutely annihilated people in the fight. There was 3v5. Yes, Monkey turns up and keeps it 3v5 again later, right? But, you know, the Monkey had to run away and heal off camps. You just gotten a kill on Cube, who got trapped off as the Scion.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so impressive. And Belt, I mean, in the last series as well against BLG. Fantastic play out of him, especially the Ashe game. I found really impressive. Of course, we don't get to see his Ashe this series, but still, I mean, there are a lot of fun AD carries left in the pack. I think Nymaera Lulu kind of stands out as like the really fun to watch meta AD carry that's still up. You got things like the Caitlyn as well, but
I'm trying to think. I mean, you've got Jin potentially if you want to go those routes and set things up, particularly because it allows things like the Bard. is going to get MVP. My goat. That is the correct choice.
Yes,
that is the correct choice.
We've done it. We've identified the support deserved it, and we've given it to the support. It's something that gets overlooked far too often. Far too often does support picking up the MVP get overlooked. But, I mean, he truly did kind of 1v9 this game from the position it was in.
He was genuinely superb. Thank you again for the next person who downloaded Opera GX. I appreciate you all. Please do help best you can with that one. This W ain't in my team W. What the hell happened? I know, right? They have really, really, really turned themselves into something special.
Yeah, what a timeline. 6 out of 8 votes. We gotta ask who voted jungler. One observer and
one ref. I guess maybe they were looking at other parts of the game. Maybe.
Yeah, possibly. Wow. Oh, I need to...
Go for it. That's fine. I've got my coffee still. I'm fine.
Nice. I'll be right back.
I'm trying to get a clip up to put on Reddit so people see the madness. Okay. Because I need to get that one up. We'll turn the camera on. Guys, if you're wondering what I'm doing in the background, I'm literally to get you a clip for socials and Reddit because I can't believe it. I genuinely can't. Like, this is unbelievable scenes. Have I run some ads yet? I have not. Ads coming. Come on, there we go. I'm literally just doing socials to get this out. Mm-hmm. There's my video. There we go. Oh! Sam is too busy with Genshin. What's going on? What's up, Seraph? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What have I missed? There's 3 first standards about MSI play-ins. Well, okay. Sure. But okay, but you still make it to, I count that as MSI, right? MSI play-ins is still MSI. But yeah, if I'm in game, I'm not sure. Tak, what's up? Sorry, I'm doing social stuff and talking to lots of people. What's up? And looking at 3 chats. Where am I at? What's up, Tak? Yes, but still only 2 LPL teams at MSI. Oh, Skip's playing inside. Oh, sorry, right, I'm with you. Right. Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. Oh, set 5 Evelyn Legend. Oh, God, yeah. Very excited. We're building that immediately. No, it's in. There is no 3rd seed. Top 2 to get myself. Why did I have it down as... Oh, I've not moved the camera as well. Need to move this with it. There we go. There we go. Cool. Whoops. Yeah, the fish top 2. Oh, so why did I have it down as the 3 then? Someone was telling me that the other day. That's fine. Oh, right. Time to make this last socials post. We need esports and spoiler. Come on. I need to move this back now. There we go. Any quadra kills today? I don't think so. We've had some triples, no quadras. Oh man, what an insane day of games in some ways.
All right, I'm back. Oh, I'm so excited, man. I can't believe that we could be on the precipice of WE taking out BLG and AL.
I mean, there was a point.
WE.
There was a point this year where the coach got ill for WE. You've got like no staff, and Monkey had to do the coaching. By the way.
Damn. That's why they all play like him.
Well, yeah. I mean, to be fair, just get online. Just get on board.
Yeah. Embrace the
man.
chaos. I wonder what he'll pick next game. We had like a standard jungler game one. I guess standard jungle both games. Do we get the Nidalee again?
I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I mean, he was pretty good at it.
Game.
Yeah. All right, time to change this audio over. I'm going to be a little distracted, guys, while I'm getting this post together, because I think it's a relatively important one to get people over and to say, hey, guys, we are genuinely on the verge of history. Get in here. I can't spell start. Good grief.
It is a hard
Buckle
word
up,
to spell.
folks.
There's 5 letters in it.
I know. I'm just dyslexic, is the honest answer. It's just like, what? Also, I just like horribly mistyped. Like, I missed the S for a W somehow. So like, instead of start, which was just like random exclamation.
Next to each other. Well, I don't know. I can't even begin to think what's going to happen. This is just awesome. That's as far as I get. One of the 2 bot lanes will pick Jhin, and I will be predicting that team to lose. That's as far as I've gotten.
I will say Jhin in the LPL has been pretty successful. We've got a lot of very good Jhin players here who often find quite a lot of damage with it as things go on. So it's not as memeable as it is in other regions. I'll say that.
I just hate the champ. I hate everything about it.
Oh, to draft we go for what could be our final time today. AL are 0-2 down against Team WE. 1-30 at the end of the split. Started 0-16 in game score.
WE also get counterpick, which I'm of the opinion that second pick gets stronger as Fearless goes further. That is my opinion, because like you start having to dig deeper into your pool. Obviously, everyone has more than 5 champions they can play, but having the option to counterpick does tend to just get better as those sort of really high priority champs do start to fall. Rumble, of course, being one of the ones that is still available and is very, very highly contested. Now, what is typically the answer in the LPL? Because in the LCP, it's quite often just a tank. You get a lot of Cassante in particular.
Yeah, we do. I mean, Cassante is still good, but the thing is Rumble got through, right? So Flon's going to get Rumble. He plays Rumble in the jungle skin top. It's always very good fun. Karis has been a pretty solid Annie. They've banned out Monkey's Olaf, which I think is probably wise. It's been one of his kind of pocket picks for a little bit. We'll see what they want to pair that up with. Nocturne's gone, Jarvan's gone. Shinzao, probably not awful here, actually, in terms of early AD skirmishes, if you want that option. They might also want to look to match Flandra here, see whether Cube's got something to play into this. I just tuned in. How the hell is WE 2-0 up?
Oh,
let me tell you about the obscene stuff we have seen from particularly Monkey and Ura, but the whole squad has just turned up. I've liked their drafts, I've liked their play, and they clearly are not the team that we saw at the beginning of the split. Do not take this team as the one that went 0-16 in games, ended 1-13. Things have finally clicked. Rewrite your expectations. This is a legitimate team right now, and I think considering we've now had 3 best of 5s in a row where they have legitimately been dangerous, that's very good. Worth noting, Flandra is a big TF top player. There is a world where that Rumble gets flexed. We've seen a little bit of support Rumble here and there. We've seen a little bit of, I suppose you could even throw a mid lane Rumble in. Chovy's pulled that one out already, that was into TF, and Tars unlocks his Lee Sin.
This is exciting. I mean, TF Lee Sin is quite scary to try and go up against.
Yeah.
Particularly as an Annie. That is not... I mean, assuming TF is going mid and it is Rumble top, that is not a very easy mid-jungle duo to try and navigate through. And Bard? I don't hate Bard. In terms of sort of those strong laning supports, He does
Has
remain
always
as
been a
kind
big
of the premier one.
Bard and Joy also follows up very well with the Annie. Can obviously tempered fate quite well to follow up on a TF play potentially, or they kind of got that sort of semi-global angle with the angles you can take as well. Ura and WE, as we have seen, if you give them the ability to take creative angles and screw with people's vision lines and team fight shape, they're very, very good at abusing that. That looks like something Ura will be quite happy with. Yeah, to be like, honestly, Ultranza, yeah, you look at Monkey's name and you laugh. This guy has been unreal. He is the Monkey King. He's already pulled off a Wukong game with Death Dance Hexplate and smashed people's heads in. Like this guy is serious king of the jungle stuff. They're apes together strong.
The Hexplate to me was the funny
Genius.
part. I cannot believe it was the second item Hexplate Wukong, man. That's so cool.
It was just like,
it did, yeah.
But the amount of cooldown on the ult was ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I like the creativity. I really do like the creativity.
But we probably ought to focus
it's
a little bit more
on something that goes lacking.
You know, on where we are in this one, because actually, obviously, coming through to the second phase of picks and bans, and yes, we're excited. Yes, this whole series is cool, but still the job's not done. AL are a very tenured team who I think have been a little bit volatile in players. Remember, they crashed out of playoffs last split, and it was pretty ugly stuff, and pressures are on them, and I think WE have just got a little bit of aura to them now, don't they? People have dismissed them, and I think they have not done their homework properly, guys. They haven't figured this team out, because I don't think people have seen enough successful WE to have prepped properly. Sivir gets locked in for about. That will allow the Bard to go a roaming quite happily. Can also spell shield things like the gold card, which can be quite valuable, and gives you some scaling DPS checks to follow up on the early Annie burst. Hopes Kai'Sa was always a legitimate pick, but Zeri Yuumi might be a consideration to match what's happening here too. Kai'Sa's a global for the TF.
What? I assume is what they're looking for.
Possible. Could you do this?
They kind of need
Lulu?
Some lockdown.
Yeah.
Kai'Sa with Lulu is really fake. You kind of need lockdown for the Rumble.
Yeah, I mean the Naught makes sense.
More than anything.
I mean, again, you got the gold card, so gold card plus Nautilus would make a lot of sense. You're going to lose lane fairly hard, but you want to play. You can play towards elsewhere on the map first. So I think that probably does make some sense.
Yeah, I mean, you're certainly playing for the sort of skirmishing. Oh,
okay, so this could still be. I'm assuming Galio support. Just putting that out there.
You have to.
But there is a world where you put. There is a world where the Galio gets flexed into weird places. TF is a Flandra pick on occasion. You could put the Rumble mid. It's just like, again, we're expecting Rumble top, TF mid, that kind of shenanigans. Shin's out, early skirmisher. WE have gone for a very normal comp here. And, yeah, I wonder whether it might be the Rumble support to give them the shove.
Man, I would hate to be Kai'Sa with a Rumble support, but nonetheless, it is. I mean, Rumble is just particularly strong early.
Yeah, and also, the TF destroys K'Sante. Like, it is miserable.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, you try to make plays, you get gold carded. You end up basically, the moment Kraken Slayer is completed, you are horribly abused. It is a really tough matchup for K'Sante. It's genuinely one of his hardest matchups in the game is the TF. So this may well be the TF top, as I was wondering. It'll be AD TF top. The Galio gets flex mid, the Rumble gone support. AL pulling some shenanigans.
The one thing about the matchup is it did get somewhat better for the K'Sante in the way that you can go the Doran's Helm now, which gives you armor and magic resist, which against top lane TF is really, really valuable. And it also made K'Sante's early game stronger by being able to go that combination. So you can go like Aftershock, and then with the Doran's Helm, if the TF ever does make a misstep, he actually is very much under lethal. So it is something to look out for, but I do agree. I think TF is very, very difficult to navigate as the K'Sante, so as long as you aren't randomly gold carding to give pretty easy access to the Pathmaker, you should have a pretty free time for the TF. And of course, TF just prints gold, so that's also one thing that Flandre has in his favor. On grasp. I don't agree with the grasp, but nonetheless, it is what it is.
Oh my god, WE fans.
Newfound.
They have been around. WE is genuinely one of the most popular teams in the LPL, guys. Their fans have been quiet, have been kind of bitter and dismissive for a while because the team just hasn't been good. There was moments last year where we saw things come to life, and then it all fell apart again this year, and people left. And the last time we saw the Rumble spot was FPX Life. Docdam and Life, I believe, was who it was. They loved the Rumble support. We used to have a little combo that we used to call Kiana Jones and the Carpets of Doom, where it was Rumble in the bot lane, and the Kiana would come on in, and you just have like this crazy Kiana Rumble equalizer combo. Used to make us smile. No adventure to be found right now, but you've got Kai'Sa, Galio, TF with triple globals effectively, particularly in the mid game once the Kai'Sa ult gets a little upgraded. You can come careening into any side lane you care to mention.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to play the map for WE, but the one thing they have going for them is they have the greatest wave clear champion in the game, which does make it a little bit easier to navigate, I think. Like, having that guaranteed push in the mid lane, giving you that ability to roam around is actually very, very helpful by picking this Sivir. And Bard also, just naturally very good at matching sort of shenanigans around the map.
Yeah.
So it isn't all doom and gloom. Sort of on your point of combo names, me and Blue Panda came up with two in the LCP. So one of them, and it was more relevant last year than it is this year. I'll preface it, but like the Talia Pantheon, which was very, very prominent last year. We came up with the Great Wall of Sparta.
Yeah, love it, love it. Yeah, that's good, that's good.
You know, it was very, very common for the ults to be used in tandem to some side lane. And then the other one was Vi Ambessa, and we called that one Due Process, because it's cease and desist and public execution.
So, interesting, we had a slightly different one. We called it Cease and Deceased.
Oh, I like that, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
So, but they have a Due Process. I'll give you that one. That's also good. I'll stick with my one because it makes me smile, and you know, like you got to hold your own creative process. But you know what? I hear it. I acknowledge it. It's a good option. It's a good option. But we call it the cease and desist. Say it.
For us, the Due Process was quite funny because, like, when does a cease and desist ever lead to public execution? But you know,
hang on, Karis. Just flash away. Stun back. Not quite available. Flash down, though. The early gank from the Lee Sin, having gone through that topside river. Monkey is now around, going to try and help hold this wave, defend his Raptor respawn as well. Start on that again, junglers. If you do start on your Raptors before you reset, do me a favor and pick them up on cooldown when they come back up, having done your camps. Has actually already gone for that quick reset and got the early longsword. Actually has, as has Tarzan. Bot lane, about up farm again. Hope is not been having the easiest time in these laning phases. And credit over, they've got the heal, try and get in match with that heal. The barrier's still available, about just fine, and they don't quite get what they're looking for. Tarzan's
yeah, I
here,
mean,
hang on.
I think About just got mega saved by that cosmic binding, and
why did Tarzan? I guess he was trying to interrupt Ura's back. Doesn't have the wall, or just use the wall. This gets wild. They're gonna try and dive this. They are.
So sums are available here for About, but obviously the heal down for Urha.
And actually now Tarzan gets slowed down.
Committing the Cassante TP, so yeah. I mean, he does have time. His wave is pushed out, and I mean, what is he going to be doing in the top lane other than sort of suffering? So I don't hate it. It's an option. Your win condition is the Sivir. Make sure she doesn't get put behind. I think that's a pretty smart adaptation.
Yeah, again, they get something for it to AL, right? Like, they don't come away with nothing. They don't get the kill. The TP is nice. And again, if one of their win conditions is Flundra becoming absolutely monstrous on a side lane, Monkey's going to be here. Cassante's here, and this gets a bit more spicy. Doesn't have either of his summoners, by the way. He's blown them some point earlier on in this lane. And now he's got to be very aware. Does get the gold card, but there'll be an audacious charge to slow up the Talon strike, the flash for the footwork of the Pathmaker. And he's just dead! Flundra dies early on in the game again.
Wow. I mean, a Monkey realizing there's a gap in the wave, walking all the way round to the middle bush. There is absolutely no way Flundra expected that to have happened. Catches him by surprise. Cube commits the flash, having already somehow expended both of Flandra's summoners, and it really paying a hefty price. Without that ultimate too, can't get back up to match that wave.
Yeah, he does not run the TP. You're TF, you'll have your own ult. You'll get that for free later on, and that will mean all the work that makes all the difference. So early on, he's finally got level 6, but it's too late. He doesn't have it. I think he was trying to stick around to get the 6 before resetting. doesn't have it. It's gone for the cull now, but that lead that's supposed to be built up, remember, you've got TF passive to work with. It's not there right now. Hopes managed to get a slightly bot side, probably because of that plate he picked up from earlier shenanigans. He's got the cull as well, but I think about happy enough here. Tarzan needs some moves, but not to any actual gold lead advantage. Carrot's going to throw down the ult, and they can maybe look at this. In we go with the Audacious Charge. The wind becomes lightning, does go wide. Out comes the Incinerate. Flash for the taunt. The gold card comes in. Tarzan over the wall. The pressing guard to try and disengage. The CC chain is good.
Oh my god!
Phenomenal from Monkey. Flash for the kick. Carrot now looking for some CC chains. Shank's reminder. Doesn't have the flash. Cube's come down with the all out. He's going to go hunting.
Cube cancelled. Cube cancelled the TP, and Monkey with such an amazing Crescent's Guard. Oh my lord, WE are absolutely on one right now.
They have just been superb. It really could have been. I mean, what can you say? That Crescent Guard knocks one away. Cube interrupts. The synergy, the trust, and the clutch. The clutch is here.
Wow. I mean, we have to see where Flandre was using that ultimate from, because if he made it to that mid play, this game was in a really rough position. But because he didn't, because Cube was able to cancel that teleport, the game is saved. Monkey with such a fantastic ultimate, truly saving the day here. Shanks goes in aggressively. Tarzan obviously able to get over the wall, and there it is. Doesn't even need to use the ult, just cues him.
Oh, it's so well played. And then, of course, Tarzan has to flash, gets nothing with the kick. Shanks has come back in, dies and gives over a kill to the Annie. And with Cube roaming down as well, even if he got out the other way, he would have been giving a kill to the Cassante.
I mean, it has to be someone's way to. Flandre is just playing a relatively terrible series so far. That's a mistake that you really can't afford to make, because the mid play entirely relies on you being able to make it down there. And so queuing, the fact that Cube didn't even have to use ult to cancel it, it was just simply a queue, is befuddling to me.
I mean, I'm there with you. I'm there with you. It's kind of falling apart. WE again with the early gold lead. This is now becoming a genuine trend. I would love to see a statistical discrepancy from basically the beginning of playoffs to the regular season, because I think the stats would be remarkably different. That would be a huge, drastic shift. Monkey's going to take, I think, 2 here, but then come mid just to shield Karis off.
And this is actually, as we'll see if they're able to stop this dragon. It's something I'm wondering about in 16-11 and onwards, if we continue to see, because currently it is quite common to just take the 2 and then go try and defend your bot side, take the dragon or whatever it may be. But Grubs are getting a pretty significant buff coming forward as this blue buff becomes a pretty big point of contention.
TP. That's going to be the Cassante behind. Can they find anything of this? Remember, Cube doesn't have his flash quite up. Kyle can still be in danger. Flash away from the rumble. Shanks doesn't have his. Flandre's roamed down to get to this play. So you'll get a flash and the heal off the rumble to get out there, but successfully defend the blue buff. You get the extra summoner. They're going to group up for this dragon as a result, with Flandre having roamed down. I suspect actually that here comes the gold card. Cassante now going to retreat back a little bit, saying, hey, we do need to stick around, get through that magical journey, and it'll be all over. Destiny Gate burns.
That looked like it was almost going to be one of those scary moments where you put down the portal and then you just start dancing at the entrance instead of going through it, but eventually makes his way through. His top laners will head back to their lane. And I think great usage of the teleport so far from Cube. And while neither of them have netted anything in particular, they've made sure that the play that could have been a bit dicey is just secured. No one loses anything on their team, because ultimately he is just a bridging champ this game. He's not trying to play for anything other than to make sure they can get to the point in the game they need to be. And in particular, that is about. And so far, absolutely all good.
Yeah, it is, exactly. And again, look, they're up 2 kills, up a little bit of gold. Again, the gold lead is going to be a little bit fake because Flandre's there kind of messing with the numbers a little bit. TF, again, he's a cheater. He's a card shark. He stacks the deck, quite literally, is going to be able to do that. But again, TF is balanced around having gold. He is an item-dependent champion who literally has his kit balanced around the fact he gets extra gold. A little bit like Gangplank is, honestly, as another champion with Bilgewater dodgy shenanigans. But the Cassante, relatively happy. Look, down a bit of CS, so be it. You know what you picked here. You managed to keep the TF down. You've managed to get involved with the rest of the map to maybe not your own advantage, but to keep 30 things rolling, and your mid jungle have benefited. About is more than happily within touching distance. Life looks good here for WE and AL. Yeah, the comp in mid game is going to be very potent, but I do need to see them get value out of these globals, especially because the early usage of them has been relatively lackluster. I think it's fair, not even relatively, just lackluster.
Yep, absolutely. I think it's a well-played game so far from WE, but it does, as you point out, in the mid-game is where you really do get tested.
Ooh,
and how good are you at playing around the map? As they do see Tarzan jumping into that bush. There's no flash on this Rumble.
Oh, in they go with the Galio, though. This makes it a bit spicy. About gets out. Monkey's a little deep, but it's got the crescent guard by the time. Remember, Kyle's left low. The kick back. In they go. Tarzan gets that one. This looks pretty good for AL. Suddenly, Monkey low, but not quite down. Trying to go to the home. He's got the barrier. About now jumped on. Tarzan flashes. Gets the Sonic Wave, and it's a wonderful fight from AL. Hopes and dreams of WE suddenly shattered.
It looked almost like it was going to be good, and then Tarzan with that Dragon's Rage able to find a magnificent kick, and they punish it so well. Hope comes flying in with that killer instinct. More than enough damage. As soon as Karis topples, all the dominoes fall thereafter. It looked so good. It looked like it could have been. For that Q landing, a good chunk onto About, and the equalizer right in the middle of everything leaves Monkey, unfortunately, very isolated.
He is legitimately one auto of killing off Kyle. Doesn't get it, otherwise that would be in Triumph. We'd been playing a very different game, and it gets a bit messy. Burn a lot to make that happen. Remember, all the globals now down. Kyle needs to speed himself away. Gets the hill, but the wind becomes lightning lands. That means it's another slow, and he will likely now just die. The Incinerate, powered up by that stun, comes on through. I think it's Disintegrate on Q, Incinerate on W, but I never do remember. Yes. They are very similar.
Yep. No, I think you did get it correct. But a nice little pick found this time, finishing off that Rumble. In a bit of a peculiar position ultimately, as Hope now has that item spike come through, so is looking to leverage that.
He's got a cull as well, right? Like, this cashes in, things get spicy. Tarzan here About with the barrier and a little bit of a dream. The teleport comes on through. They've got TP behind. is here. They've hopped away. Hope doesn't have that much to work. The flash for the Incinerate. Hope gets punished. Tempest failed to Tarzan, who's not got cooldowns. There'll be a Q through the wave. Tarzan stunned. WE look like the team with the globals.
What a collapse, and all of it possible too because of About's just one sidestep on that Sonic Wave. They punish it so well. Monkey's also going to claim himself a tower, played in some waves in the mid lane, but Karis teleporting down, saving About and turning it around.
Monkey now likely dead actually with that Crescent Guard coming on forwards to buy a little bit of time. Does just about get out of range. Can look for another jump in, does have to go back because there was no way out and dies. Nice gold card. Sorry, Destiny Gate down with the gold card active. That's the way we phrase that one. And they pick off Monkey, who went to try and get a little bit more off the map and gets punished for it well.
Yeah, lane assignments getting a little bit tricky now, as we are going to see Hope go up into that top lane. Honestly, though, a game in a perfectly playable state for both of these teams. Only 400 gold lead for AL, despite the cheating of gold that Flandre finds. So I think perfectly manageable for WE ultimately as it stands. Although, again, these globals can become an issue. We've seen it happen once before down that bot lane. It was WE immediately able to turn it back to put us in an even game state, but they have to be really on top of where people are in this map. Otherwise, things will get extremely difficult to play.
And again, the support Rumble's got towards the rocket belt. Obviously still going to be quite useful in terms of just the raw base damages. Rumble's always been there. But again, one of the reasons we don't see him in the support role so much is he does roll into the Heimerdinger position of being quite catchable. Just need to be a little bit careful as Era, who's got his own ways to dodge out with the magical journey. They'll know that Tarzan's around. Monkey's now going to come on up. We'll get hit by the Electro Harpoon. And over towards the red buff we go. We might well be fighting this, but I think WE go, you know what? Very dark space to walk into. We're going to pass on that one. Thank you.
Yeah, it makes sense. They get themselves a plate at least in the bot lane while that all occurs. So it's not all for nothing. As Karis, once again, 3 games in a row, just going to go very upfront, burst heavy build. I'm assuming this alternator will turn into an eventual proto belt.
Would make sense.
Extending the range on that Annie engage.
Hello. Oh, analyst in chat. Indeed, Molecule is here to watch the mystery. Also a lovely guy. Do make sure to say hello to Molecule. Follow him on Twitter if you're not, by the way. One of the most interesting people to follow if you are a LoL esports enjoyer. Does some really creative discussions on builds and what people are doing around the world. Rumble never builds support items. Yeah, no reason to play. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, exactly. He's never going to build anything like that will run damage. How do you feel about Rumble support right now? I think there's, like, obviously allow them to get the flex of the TF top into the Cassante, which I think is quite a nice matchup, right? Flandre obviously didn't have the best start to the game, but it's now in a good spot. So, I see the thought process there. Exactly. That was my understanding, was it just to get the better matchup for Flandre. But nice to see some confirmation there. I mean, Rumble support is something that Kyle enjoys, and it's not like a bad pick per se, but it's not exactly where you'd like the Rumble to be.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's really achieved all that much this game. But, I mean, if all it achieves is getting yourself a good TF matchup, then that, you know, that might be enough. I will say I don't think this TF matchup has been leveraged all that well. We found one successful play in the mid lane, but a lot of failed attempts, and honestly, a bit of almost baiting with that one that went so poorly earlier on in the game. Not that he baited necessarily, but it turned into.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't very masterful, so to speak. Hope potentially in danger here. Remember, he does have a Galio behind him. Might be forced some of those cooldowns. Oh, he's just dead. Oh my days.
Yeah, that 400 odd Galio shield is not saving you from all that burst, as the Destiny Gate is going to be used, but nothing really to find off the back of it.
Dragon got an easy carry here as well. I think they might have to equalize this wave. Maybe it's not even going to be enough. They're going to lose this turret, I think, with the 3 grubs. So that equalizer feels a little bit late to the play, honestly. Now Shanks is going to have to try and jump away. They burn beyond the hunt. They don't quite get the stun. The shielded around will buy some space.
Yeah, threatening. They're going to be able to pick up this dragon regardless. Although Tarzan is coming up and Flandre is in the area. Cube might be having to TP down, as he has once again gone for an early Spirit Visage, similar to the Scion, right? You have that E on the Cassante, so it does find value just inherently.
Tempered Fate is dodged with the Rocket Belt. Dragon taken by Monkey. This gets a bit spicy. Out comes the Disintegrate from the side of Karras. He's burning a lot of time. Cube with a monster shield. There's the Herald here as well. All out! And that gets Karras. Had to flash away. Importantly, Shanks just about fighting on the other side. They get the kill onto someone. Didn't see who it was. It was Monkey eventually. But I think at this point, the Rocket Belt flash. More power, more damage, more fire. As WE are burning down the barn, and AL look a little bit lost. As Karras with the speed up on the Molten Shield and the Q press. And the Rumble overheats as the fire melts the chassis.
It's a very dicey fight, but again, well played by WE to come out slightly on top. The Smite fight comes down to a 50-50 that typically favors the Lee Sin, but it's Monkey able to get it. Karras on the side, stopping Flandre from doing all that much. And Shanks as well. Not a whole lot of value on the Galio ult on this occasion. Cube not able to get Flandre either, as he does flash away, but it's so much committed and about just hitting as much as he can so they eventually can turn it around. Good flash by Hope.
Yeah, still ends up just about getting out there. The problem is Kyle falls and you get the dragon, you get the kills. WE now feeling relatively okay. Look, they're down a little bit of gold, but again, where is that gold? We have to track it. Karras up a lot in this early stages here. And actually, Monkey's going to look at Flandre, trying to attack this global and steal away some Gromps and keep Tarzan over. Again, this Lee Sin is not necessarily taking over the game, which I think Tarzan was hoping for. There's a collapse coming, about joining up with the rest of the squad. This gets a bit spicy. It's a good equalizer. About throws the on the hunt. Where's the gate to follow the Destiny? Not used towards that top side wave instead. A couple ults traded, but no one wants to fully commit. Hang on, now we might actually look. Tempered Fate. Tarzan has to backstep. Nicely done. Cube in a 1v2, maybe a 1v3 actually shortly. Gets a pull back all out. That's not bad onto Hope, puts him into a dangerous spot. The magical journey makes things interesting. Gets towards the Mega Blasco. There's a stun onto Era, but look where Monkey is. Now he's on the side. Cube goes back in with the monster code. Monkey with the flash for the knockup. Out of the Galio ultimate. They keep running. Tarzan looks to get in. The slow comes on down. Tarzan misses his Q. Kyle left low. Shanks gets a bit of a stun. That's decent. The Winds of War. The big ground slam. But Karras has killed off another. And all the while the damage keeps rolling. TF has killed off Cassante, but Sivir has murdered their opposite number. Flandre slow by that cosmic binding. It's so close. There's a stun of
card. It's a red card.
They can keep murdering more. Addy is a psychopath through all those horror movies. The Exorcist, where are they?
Love it. Flandre pulls up a red card so Monkey can just fly on in. They are able to take yet another fight. The Baron's gonna fall after, and WE are so close to 3-0ing AL.
It's actually happening. LNG are going to be looking at this saying, see, we told you they were good. They're looking down in Nevada going, how on earth did we wake the dragon? What on earth has happened? Maybe an attempt at a steal here. There is no smite on Monkey. It's worth noting. They've got a magical journey, which will not time out. Worried for a second there. They'll reset. Let's have a look at this play again, because Cube, I thought he was isolated, and he just buys all the time in the world.
When he W's in, I thought he was just a dead man, but he's able to land the Q3, which is his only escape, honestly. If he doesn't land that, things look a whole lot worse. But for following forward, Monkey, he flashes in, gets the immediate gully ult, and has the movement speed with that Annie shield to actually get himself out. Cube, not got the angle on the W there, does just send and die, but it's about, with these ricochets ticking, the Tibbers finishes the deal onto Kale, and one ricochet lands. Hope goes down, and Flandre, red card locked, just allows Monkey to do whatever he will.
Send him off. That's not it. We're back to live now. Baron's been taken. Gold leads there for WE. They can begin to leverage a bit more push. They're going to try and get onto Cube. I just don't think this Cassante is going to be all that much of a valid target right now. They've got 3 members here, but About's now come on over. Sonic Wave lands onto a caster minion. Nothing valuable at all. And that's really the end of that play. And all the while, Karish just been happily shoving bot lane.
Paris 6-1 and 4 on the Annie. Going to be able to, alongside Monkey, take down this top, or rather bot, in a tower. Minion wave will then crash in as Cube. Trying to do the same with mid lane, but with 2 people answering him, it's a little bit harder.
Do you believe in miracles?
Annie.
Tarzan is on vision. They know he's there. And you can see where is standing, where Monkey's standing. They're jumping him. Whoa.
They're looking.
Can't find it. Ballad. Turret. Loses the play at 2.
Hard for them. Hard for them to clear out these super minions. Or these rather cannon minions with that Baron buff. That's going to be the protobout used. But Flash still there for Karis. Because Annie really is the person to watch as Cube looking for some trades in the mid lane.
Quite annoying, actually. That Spirit Visage buying a lot of time. Heals, hit by that Sonic Wave, afraid of a potential look in. Tarzan trying to bait something out. Fancy mechanics there. Interrupts his resonating strike with a swift ward hop combo. But that's really all it is. And look, style points mean nothing in the grand scheme of losing the game. You're down 4,000 gold. Dragons up. They're going to try and jump on a Cube here a little bit. That's decent damage. We'll get to Pathmaker and Footwork away if they need to. Do AL want to keep hunting this? They do. Monkey's got interrupted. That Rocket Belt buys a bit of time. Sivir has left. They wanted to reset, I think. I'm not sure they're going to get the opportunity. It would only be second dragon. So I think WH is going to say, look, we're happy with the gold. They are TPing in, so maybe they are wanting to play this. But that means they've not spent a lot of the gold they just earned.
I think the situation is they still feel stronger as Monkey's going to get isolated, but it's Shanks that's going to go down.
Tempered Fate forced to flash off Hope, and now they can turn onto the Dragon. Hope Tarzan's going to have to leave. He can't stand here. He doesn't get that one. It's a little bit of an early smite, but will not leave. Flash over from Cube, looking for it. Karis is behind as well. Going to get jumped on and dead. That's a bit far. But Carl's had to flash, and he now likely dies as well. 4v4. We can hunt for more damage. It's a lot of the gold, though, gone because Karis was a fairly significant portion of it. Flash Wind becomes Lightning, Audacious Charge. Gold card lands. Get to that point where you do get them off cooldown pretty rapidly. Kyle's still slowed down. Will likely fall. The Dragon's Rage means nothing. The Dragon looks a little bit pathetic in this game, don't they? It's a young one, perhaps. Mortally wounded in this game.
We need to leave the blast cone flanks to our support. That was the worst look I think we could have looked for. But nonetheless, they do trade a 1-for-1. It's a big shutdown that unfortunately does go over to AL there, but still they get the Dragon. Not that Dragon is really much of a conversation this game. It's likely just going to come down to what this next Baron looks like.
I'm just saying, tenacity though into TF feels pretty annoying, and actually to the Galio stun as well. Like, how do you get back in this game as AL? Well, probably a good gold card combo into someone like Sivir, but more tenacity sounds really annoying for that. And actually, About's just picked up a QSS anyway.
Yeah, Spell Shield and QSS, so your first in, being a gold card, is already not an in because it just gets spell shielded. And if you do somehow flash onto a Vigalio, well, that's getting QSS'd. So, I mean, a pretty impossible task to deal with this Sivir as things stand. And you're just seeing in these fights how much damage About can do by not even hitting the carries. Just hitting anyone, the ricochets will do the rest of the work while, I mean, Annie can just threaten the whole time. all we got to really do is not send like last time. He did importantly keep his flash, so forward momentum still can be found here. The threat is still well and truly on the side of WE as they look to close out a very swift trio.
And they've done it in style, haven't they? About even got to go Yuntal Wild Arrow second. It's not done yet. Would be remarkably LPL for it all to go wrong now, wouldn't it? But still, all the while, TF shoving away in that picture-in-picture, trying to get as much gold on the cross map as they can. But again, they're tier 3 under siege.
Tarzan.
Relatively consistently. Here comes
Tarzan.
looking for it. They spotted him. They've
They
spotted
find
him.
him.
And all the while, Cube's in the base here, a little bit deep, just have to be a bit careful. Takes a fair amount of damage, Pathmaker's away, look at Tarzan on that flank and look to get him. Monkey then jumps over on top of him though. And the 3 Talons right makes things a bit spicy with that Titanic Hydra, the rapid stack of the Q. Makes things tricky.
Now they're still going to look to try and take down this inhib tower. A couple autos will do it, there it is. Shanks, I mean, this is one of the roughest games to be a Galio in. As soon as things go wrong, what can you really do? They're looking in. Flandre.
They get all the damage you could ask for, and Flandre just gets melted. The Tempered Fate lands on 2. Hope
They've
springs
done it!
eternal, but he's springing into the enemy team. Hope tries to buy some time, but the killer instinct really should have been a prey instinct. The fight or flight response is all wrong, and anyone's legend becomes someone's chowder. WE make mincemeat of it. Do you believe in miracles? WE do. They move to the upper bracket from 0 and 16 in games to 1 and 13 in series to upper bracket finals.
Nobody would have believed you if you had said this would be the storyline, but here we are. WE 3-0 and a clinical series against AL to put themselves in a very well-deserved upper bracket finals. The handshakes going across the stage, and this team is but 1 series away from MSI. Who would have thought?
It has been a long time since we've seen something like this in League of Legends. Remember the Schalke Miracle run? We're in that territory. Remember the DRX run at Worlds? Different tournament, different stakes, but the percentage chances, the opportunities and expectations about there as well. This is pretty damn ridiculous. WE on the form and run of their lives. The belief is there. The crowd can't believe it. I can't believe it. Sure as hell doubt you at home believe it either. You were here, folks. You were here.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. What a run. They're so close now, and they've taken out the toughest competition that could have possibly been ahead of them.
Mecha Fanboy with the 100 gift bomb. Oh my days, Mecha. Thank you for the support. What a way to celebrate this. Welcome, new subscribers. Thank you for joining us. Let's do the spiel, shall we? I've been joined by Vestian, who is a wonderful content creator, caster, and I believe also coach right now over in the Oceania region. Has been doing the Lord's work over there, and fellow champion of sometimes the lesser watched region to join me here to cast today because Alex is away for a few days, and it has been my honor to be working with him on this one. And what a series I have you here for, mate. With that in mind, if you want to support us, please do just follow the channels you're watching, be that YouTube, be that Anivia's channel, be that the Twitch channel. If you can, all the links are in chat. Go follow the Twitch if you're on YouTube. Go follow the YouTube if you're on Twitch. It'll be 10 seconds of your time. Speaking of 10 seconds of your time, we've got Opera GX as sponsor for the month. Please click on the link. Go get yourself a cool new browser. It's free. It'll cost you 20 seconds. It's a way of supporting us that doesn't cost you any money, barely any time, and is genuinely not a lot of work and means the world to us in terms of our ability to pay bills and keep the sponsorship up. So do have a look at the browser. It's also just quite a cool browser. If you're a Chrome user, you can even port over all your extensions and bookmarks and all the other stuff. So actually, you just get a cool new browser with better bells and whistles. It's more efficient, and you don't have to set up all your annoying bookmarks and stuff again, which is really cool. So please do that if you get the chance. On top of that, if you have not done so already, Prime users, Twitch watchers, if you can subscribe, means the world to us. We are pushing for Partner Plus, which actually really does change the payout from Twitch quite significantly. So if you've been gifted a sub just now, maybe consider resubscribing for a month or two. If you're thinking, you know what, I've got a Prime sub that I'm not using, I could use that here. We make the world. We need 100 people who are doing that if we can. And we get to Partner Plus, which does change the difference. We're very grateful for all of those wonderful gift subscribers, those kind of Oilers in chat. Mecha Fanboy again with that huge gift sub bomb a moment or two ago, bringing so many people into the community. It remains a massive deal. But again, if you love your League of Legends, if you like what we do, it's a really good way to support us. About the price of 2 coffees, 3 coffees for a couple months. Then you don't even have to keep subscribing. You'll get to that breakpoint, which makes a huge deal. Last but not least, if you're a YouTube user and you don't really use Twitch and you still want to support us, we have got a coffee link, we have got a Ko-fi link. Please do consider donating. That way, goes directly to us and no one takes a cut that way, which can also be quite nice as well. Thank you one and all for being here on what has been a historic occasion. If you would like to help support us, as said, those are the best ways to do it. The links will go out in chat. Thank you so much for the sub. Agile there, Delagon. See, that's why we do the shilling. It does actually make a difference. We've got a hype train rolling as well. Vestian, I've natted. You start chatting. Foots and feet. Oh my day. Well, that's a very telling name, isn't it? Well, thank you for footing our rent bill. I can pun on the smallest of things. It's the reason you asked for a reason, guys. Yes, it's shilling. Yes, it's annoying, but it's why we have to do it. We are small to mid-sized creators, and so the usual spiels are required. All right, my rant's over. You can chat now.
I'm still in disbelief.
And it's right.
Like, for them to win, but to win 3-0 and as dominantly as they did is just unbelievable. Like, just actually unbelievable. I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed.
Right, and like, again, this is not AL sleeping. I think at this point it would be disingenuous to say that this is all on other teams playing badly, because I don't think that's true. There will be some disrespect. There will be people not giving WE their due diligence, but part of it I genuinely think is WE are playing a very different style that is now working again. I don't think people have had enough footage or time to figure out how you beat WE, and they're also just playing really well. And the aura and the momentum is with them.
Yeah, I think they're playing more together than sort of any team that has recently. You know, like it doesn't matter what the play is, they're going for it. Like if they see my Annie, what is it? The upgraded blast coning into the middle of 4 people. It's like, oh, well, we'll give it a go. You know, my Milio's just gone for a flank. All right, we'll try. It's so impressive, and it's yeah.
Thank you for the gift, Sub-Zero. Oh my days, the hype keeps rolling.
And deserved. Yeah, for yourself and Nymaera, I think it's super deserved. Obviously, but yeah, man, I'm in shock and awe. And awe.
Right?
Definitely awe.
I mean, kind of cool to be here, right? We are watching something quite romantic in the grand scheme of things, aren't we? It's why you watch sports. It's why you watch competition. I'll turn the camera off here so we can see the cool stats. I'm just linking socials in chat. That's why I'm leaned over. About doubling Hope's damage there. Again, a player people genuinely thought was the worst AD carry in the league. Genuinely.
He's been so phenomenal. I think in this series there was one person that was asleep the whole time, and I think unfortunately that was Flandre. I think he's... Yeah. I mean, he had moments on the Rek'Sai. I can't discredit that, but for the Vayne and the TF, I think it was ultimately pretty lackluster. I think, in fact, this game number 3 kind of was as bad for them as it was because of that one massive misstep where he goes for a TF ult right in the front of a Cassante with Q3 loaded's face. I think you can't really, at this level of play, be affording to do that. As well as, I mean, I think dying early as well to the Cassante is an issue, obviously. But I think other than that, it was just straight WE being the better team. Just straight up. They were playing the dances around objectives better. They were playing the map better. I mean, every single game they're up plates. They're just up plates every single game. And I think that comes down to just how you're playing the map, and they were the better team.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. I'm a little in awe here, guys. I'm a little in awe. We're gonna wait and see who we're gonna do the interviews. We'll do a little bit of trading. I'm trying to figure out whether I'm gonna stream today. I might put a couple hours in. It's been a short series, so I might go turn my PC on.
Yeah, no, it's been a very
Sebastian, feel
short
free to stick
series.
around and watch things through. Feel free to head on off as well. Thank you again for joining me. It means a lot that you've been here as ever. I also go get a clip of that ending call as well because, oh my god, they're doing it.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure every time I've been able to come and join yourself and Nymaera on the cast, both obviously this and Worlds in general. It's always a good fun. You guys are both great people to interact with and very, very talented at what you do. So it's just always a pleasure. Oh, not the red card lock-in, man. It's flashbacks to Reginald. But that was blue card. Man. Blue card salute. Yeah, indeed. Great game of Bard as well. Fantastic game of Bard. Kind of gone, I guess, understated because of everything, all the carnage going on, but I mean, was playing so phenomenally in the fights, which isn't always easy to do as Bard. They're in disbelief too, look at them. Unreal. Who would have thought? Who would have thought we'd be here? Yeah, I agree, Harold. Actually is just showing them what they're missing out on. Lore accurate champ, true. Man, oh man. I hope we get to see this team at MSI, and I hope they keep playing the way they are.
Hello， 大家好，我是西安曲江 W 的辅助选手阿哈。大家好，我是西安曲江 W 的教练金金。
欢迎二位！说实话，淘汰赛到现在还没有人能够阻止这一支 WE。现场的每一位观众和直播间的各位，是不是都已经看得燃起来了？我想问一问我身边的二哈。今天有没有想到过可以3-0战胜 AL？ 此刻脑海当中的想法是什么呢？
今天没想到能3-0战胜对手吧，就是觉得我们会赢，但是可能过程有点坎坷吧。但是经历过昨天的比赛之后，我觉得我们什么都不怕了。
是的，我觉得现在的 WE 是越打越强。那接下来想问问我们的金金教练，那金金教练在队伍当中呢是一人担任了多职，而且从上一场比赛到这一场比赛，能够看得出来，整个教练组是付出了非常多的努力的。无论说是在 BP 的先后，还是红蓝方的选择，其实都别有巧思。所以能不能说说你们是怎么样去准备这一些强队的应战呢？
其实我们 W 队的话，其实教练还不只是我一个人，而且后面还有个康帝教练，应该你们大家都认识吧。然后，其实我们其实最主要就是我们在常规赛的时候吧，然后我们其实在打比赛一直在输，但是我们不是没打比赛，但是在每一场输的时候，我们都会总结一个结论，我们在差在哪，准备在哪。然后在这个过程中，我们吸取了很多经验，来到骑士之路，中间还是很多事情吧。然后骑士之路的时候，所有人都在状态好。然后我们其实最主要的一个点 ，W 特别团结，就是真的很团结。这个是我们从骑士之路开始到现在。
Guys, thank you for that hype train. Listening in here a little bit as well, letting people speak. Pretty special, isn't it? Thanks for translating.
就是我平时说的最多话也是打谁都能赢这种心态，然后
Exceptionally
队伍所有
special.
队员都达成这个共识的时候，我们其实已经打谁都已经能赢了。
确确实实是这样，掌声也送给 WE 的教练组，辛苦了。我想问问身旁的二哈，其实教练刚刚提到说，整个队伍打得非常的团结，从这2场 BO5当中都能够看得出来，你们是打得越来越团结。尤其是今天很多局的比赛，你们都主打一个不抛弃、不放弃任何一个人，只要有人上，兄弟们都跟着上。那作为团队当中指挥位的其中一员，你自己觉得你们成长最多的会是什么？你又最想感谢谁呢？
我们这一路走来都挺不容易的吧，然后大家的状态跟心态是越来越好了，然后每次打完比赛，其实总结东西非常多。然后这里我最想感谢的其实就是康帝教练。其实，在常规赛的时候，就是我心态其实崩过几次嘛，然后就有点萌生出一种不想打的那种想法。但其实是康帝教练一直在幕后安慰我，然后鼓励我，然后在游戏方面上他也教会了我很多，其实特别感谢他。
是的，真的非常感谢所有教练组以及康帝教练的付出。其实很多时候可以看到 W 的 Vlog 当中，你们队伍对于赛后的复盘也好，还有你们的这一些言论也好，都会支撑起你们队伍的一个团结性。那接下来我们来聊一聊今天的比赛。今天其实在第1局就看得出来，你们从来不会放弃任何一个人。在28分钟你们高地推进的时候 ，Karis 当时撤退是被定住了，但是你们全员已经稍微有一点安全的情况下，全部都回头反打，立马能够拿下那一波的团战，也拿下那一局的比赛。能不能说当时你们的沟通和判断？
当时我们的 Monkey 就说就是不要卖人嘛，然后他觉得还能打，然后我们全体听到他的指挥就全体都回头了。
是的，也要谢谢队长啊，西安队长也是扛起了这一个指挥的重任，直接回头反打，拿下了关键的第1局。而第1局快结束的时候啊，也是给到了我们教练镜头。其实当时的镜头里，金教练是非常大声的在呐喊，在欢呼。能不能从您的这个视角来跟我们说一说，当时看到这一波拿下第1局，你是什么样的一个心情？同时，对于整个 BO5 又是怎样的一个想法呢？
当时激动的原因就是前2天我们打 BRG 也是第1把，我就看到了，就是今天就看到第1把以后，今天感觉就要3比0了，然后就会很激动嘛，然后就会感觉就非常激动，就表现出来的那种状况嘛。
是的，这个士气的感觉还是非常好的。那来到了第2局，其实前中期 Monkey 都是在以一种绝食流的打法，只吃肉。但你们2个人就是野辅的一个配合是非常好的。能不能说说你们第2局的一个思路？如此的高风险，会有一些担心吗？
就是 Monkey 的想法很多嘛，然后他的选择也大部分都是对的。那既然他做出了他自己牺牲的打法，那我们就愿意相信他，然后愿意去配合他。
是的，这样的一个野辅的联动也带动起了 W 的整体节奏。我也想听听金教练，您对于这一个野辅的联动，他们的发挥就是怎么样评价呢？
其实老妈在游戏里边的大局观，其实我见过所有打野里边应该是最强的那个。然后在这个过程中的话，也有可能就是所有人不可能全对嘛。然后就是二哈在这个中辅助老妈的时候，感觉就是整个队伍就不会出错，就这种辅野，我们的辅野就是这种联动吧。
能够看得出来，那掌声也是送给这个最棒的野辅组合。感受到了大家的支持了，我同样的也想问问我们的二哈，其实，在今天的这3局比赛当中，有很多的开团的瞬间，你都做得非常的好，尤其是第2局你们在先锋团那一波其实很惊险，你的绕后的时机选择的非常的棒，你也帮助了 BOT 拿到了3杀，所以在这种时候你是怎么判断进场的时机，又是怎么样去跟队友们沟通的呢？
因为那波团的话，我们正面视野就已经做过1轮了嘛，所以说正面的压力不是很大。那我就去找一个好的位置去开他们的后排，觉得打他们的后排的话，我们会更容易获胜一点。我就绕到了一个非常好的位置，然后叫队友看我。
可以看得出来，今天的3局都是有很多这样非常完美的沟通。想问我们的金教练，从常规赛到骑士之路，再到现在的淘汰赛，你觉得这一支 WE 成长最多的会是什么？你最欣慰的又会是什么呢？
Thanks for the translation, by the way, Dark World.
常规赛开始到现在第2轮
Monkey has a lot of ideas since he's the shot caller and team captain when he called for us to sack everything for him. We just followed his lead. Question today's best of 5. You had a lot of very good engagement. Game 2, especially with the Herald flank. How did you comp? In that game, we already something. So I wasn't that pressured. I just looked for a chance to flank and engage.
所有这些事情的时候，其实我们到最后，其实这个其实比较这种，其实很多队成绩比较差的时候，都有可能会 心态不好啊这种情况，但是我们的队员还有我们的所有的管理层都没有这种心态，我觉得这个是 WE 我在这个俱乐部最欣慰的一个点。
是的，大家也能够感受到 WE 的这一份力量，这一份队魂。那想问问二哈，你在这队中有受到怎样的影响？无论说是 Monkey 队长他说的这一些话，他的鼓舞，还有教练团队给你们的这些帮助，你觉得在低谷的时候有受到怎样的一个帮助呢？
我本身是个心态还算一般的人吧，就是很容易情绪崩溃，很容易情绪激动的一个人。然后在这个常规赛这么久，我们输了这么多比赛以来，就是心态这方面，我觉得是提升非常之大的。就是大家的安慰啊，大家的鼓励，然后大家的不放弃，大家的不服输，我觉得对我来说帮助都很大。
是的，那我相信大家也非常期待下一场比赛了，因为上一次 WE 去往 MSI 还是在2017年，所以9年的等待。还剩下最后一个 BO5的胜利，就能够去往 MSI 了。我想听听二位的期待。
因为这也是打 LPL 第2年嘛，也没有去过国际赛事，还是蛮想去 MSI 看一看的。对，
期待在国际赛的舞台上看到这一个二哈，也让世界的粉丝们认识你。那金教练呢？
我记得当时还是龙哥打职业的时候吧，然后。那时候没去，现在我们当教练，我们再一起去吧。
好的，掌声也再一次送给他们。
Question: I'm sure everyone is excited. The last time WE was at MSI was in 2017. Want to hear what you guys think?
恭喜 WE， 同时把画面
Coach said that normally when a team goes badly, the players sentimentally boom, but at WE the players all the way to management. No one was getting pressure on us to get results. That's actually really important. That's pretty awesome. Well, guys.
Damn.
Thank you for being here. Thanks for all that. Appreciate everyone for sticking around. I'm going to end the stream for YouTube here. I'm going to let Vestian go on their merry way. Again, thank you so much for joining me, mate.
Thank you.
We will look to be tagged tomorrow because we've got more action. Can you believe it? It ain't done quite yet, is it? We'll see you all very soon. I'm going to raid over to my own stream if you're on Twitch, and we'll go play a bit of League of Legends, some solo queue, because, my God, I'm hyped after that. Rah. And we will keep up the good work. Until then, though, for those who are here for the LPL, we'll see you tomorrow. But bye for now. Go download Opera GX.
Okay, so guys, thank you for having me.
Alright, YouTubers. Bye-bye for now. Probably auto into who the MVP was, actually. We've not had that yet, have we? We ought to wait on that. We ought to wait on that. We ought to wait on that. I forgot about MVP. How bad was AL? I mean, AL were not fantastic, it has to be said. But I think WE are also now just legitimately a good team. Is the other side of this. I think that WE are a good team right now. Well, they'll stay that way. It's a different matter. Whether they'll stay that way is a different matter. MVP will be Karis for the game. That makes some sense to me. He was rather good, wasn't he? Split there, some from about, a couple for support. Yeah. Player of the match, Monkey. Yes, as it should be. Well. With that, guys, we will end things here. And head on over to my